All right.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, mainly because Trayvon has me nervous, and when he makes me nervous, I get excited.
I'm excited too. I have some hot takes.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no, not the hot takes.
Oh, man. Always got to have the hot takes, right?
I don't think they're that big of hot takes,
everybody. Welcome, everybody, to an all-new episode of GVN Talks. We are doing another version of like a review show, but for GVN Talk, because this is the GVN Talk crew. For this one, we are doing top 10 best horror icons. Horror, Trayvon. Icons.
Yes, I hear you. Hold on.
Wait. What does that mean? That you had to like emphasize that? Why does he have a list of people that aren't on the list of, you know?
Trayvon had said somebody that I thought maybe he didn't understand what the topic was, but we're not going to go into it. He fixed it, so there's no need to go into it. But all right, so let's get into this. Obviously, we told you guys it's top 10 horror icons, so we're going to start from 10, build all the way up to number 1. I don't ever like to put anybody out there, so I'm going to go first. At number 10, I told you guys, if you listen to, was it GVN Talk? GVN Talk or MCR? I told you guys he would be on my list, and it is none other than the Leprechaun.
Yeah, you did say that.
I knew it was coming.
10 list. I love that movie. I love the Leprechaun. Leprechaun is awesome. The Leprechaun is awesome. Leprechaun in the Hood is one of my all-time favorite movies. Get horror. It's just one of my all-time favorite movies ever. If I have a son or a daughter, they are watching that at 2. It is cinema to me. It is right up there with The Godfather and The Batman. It is beautiful.
Wow.
But no, what I love most about the Leprechaun is it was just a concept that you would think conceptually it just couldn't work, right? Like it's just the stupidest idea ever. And ultimately it is, but it just worked so flawlessly. And to put Jennifer Aniston in the first movie was great. And I'll never forget, I didn't pick up a phone for like 3 years, bro. When he stuck his little fingers through the phone to like Aniston's ear, I was like, bro, no way, man, no. But I loved it. I love the Leprechaun. I think he should be identified as a horror icon.
He absolutely is.
Enough respect. What was you saying, Blake?
He's definitely a horror icon. It's such a cult classic franchise when it comes to horror. I remember binging all the Leprechaun movies on St. Patrick's Day. They're so much fun.
Yes, 100%. And you know what? I'll say this because I know people in the comment section, people watching live, they're going to say this. If you come to me and tell me that the Leprechaun movies are bad, I will never disagree with you, ever. But to me, I think they were made to be bad. I don't think someone sat in a room and said, hey, let's make one of the greatest movies ever. No, I think they said, hey, this is a stupid idea. Let's just put Jennifer Aniston in it and see how it goes.
They knew what they were doing when they took that little leprechaun to space.
100%.
Oh, that one was so bad.
It was so bad, but look,
I could get past all the other ones, but that one was just
There's nothing like a horror movie going into space.
Oh, I'm sorry, say it again, Jayla.
There's nothing like a horror movie going into space.
Oh,
I think Freddy was the only one that never met.
Yeah, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, they all went to space.
Yeah, they all went to space. No, Chucky didn't go to space either. So Chucky's
true.
Chucky didn't.
Not yet.
But no, I will say the main thing I give the Leprechaun credit for is he did something you'd expect most people that aren't of the culture to do. He not only went to the hood once, he went to the hood.
Oh, that's right.
Twice.
Back to the hood.
I forgot about back to the
back.
hood.
He said, you think I'm scared? I'll circle back around this thing. So I got to give him credit for that. I haven't been to the hood once. He went there twice. So shout out to the Leprechaun. That's why you made it on my top 10 horror icons. All right, moving on. Jayla, who's at your number 10?
Ooh, I went with Samara from The Ring. She's terrifying, first of all, and the idea, especially now that you cannot escape her, no matter how hard you try, unless you obviously pass on the curse. I think she is, as far as a concept and idea, I think absolutely amazing. And I'm pretty sure everyone here has had their moment with The Ring The first one is just iconic, and it really had a lasting impact on everyone that saw it.
Yep. And The Ring, just so I'm not tripping, The Ring is out of the television, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
now it's like any screen is what they changed it up to.
Any screen?
Any
Oh,
screen. So
That's
Oh my
terrifying.
gosh.
your phone, computer, you're
That's
done.
smart. That's smart. Because
You're
after a
done.
certain point, a lot of people are like, you know what? I just won't watch TV. I can watch stuff on my phone. And they were like, gotcha. I come through your phone now. And it's like,
Not anymore.
I come to your phone now.
Say what you want about the
Oh.
remake. I wasn't a fan, but I did like the idea of she can come through any device.
That's
So
terrifying.
that's my number 10.
Oh, I completely agree. That changed a lot. And look, again, I know a lot of people give credits like the 60s, 70s, 80s for like the renaissance of horror. But I really give credit to that early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
That was where you got Saw. That was where you got Scream. Well, Scream's technically 98, but you can kind of loop it into 2000, kind of.
Yeah.
But The Ring, Gothica, like there was a whole lot.
Hey.
There was a whole lot of like, okay, you guys are getting a little creative. You know, we got Hostel in that mix.
Dead Silence.
That's when the remake renaissance really kicked off too.
Right.
When it came to horrors, Texas Chainsaw, all that.
Yeah.
But
Friday
there
the
was,
13th.
I do want to give them credit though.
Yeah.
There were a lot of original concepts in the early 2000s before they just said, you know what? Before A24 and
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse. I don't know why I said Blumfield. Blumhouse, sorry. Decided that they were going to actually be creative again. But I'd say from 98 to about 2005, it was really like, bro, it's refreshing out here. Like, look at
Yeah. We'll actually revisit that same vibe and up higher on my list. There's another person that gives me the same feeling of that era that I'm
it
excited
was a
to get
good
into.
era, man.
Yeah.
It really was. And again,
I feel like I know who that is, Jayla.
I'm sure you do.
I'm not here to argue what generation had the best horror movies, but again, we did have a horror movie where grandparents were eating people or killing people or
We
whatever.
have 2 actually now.
I was gonna say we had a couple.
Yeah, we did have 2, so you know, we made it crazy out here. But anyway, to move on, Didge, what is your number 10?
Dina Johnson from the Fear Street series.
Ooh,
Let
I haven't
me
watched
tell
Fear
you.
Street yet. Okay.
The Fear Street trilogy is a modern classic. I will die on that hill forever.
Yeah.
When that came out, first off, the first one came out on my birthday, so I felt like it was a birthday present to me. But it was just like watching it, it felt so refreshing to see just, I wouldn't say just sort of modern classic horror. It drew upon almost all of your classics that you love. Like the second one, it had that sort of 70s, 80s slasher vibes. The third one, it had all of the historical horror, and she was the driving force through all of it. Like it was her story of trying to save her girlfriend, and it was just, I love the series or the trilogy, and she was the driving force behind the trilogy, so she definitely deserves on the list.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that familiar with that. I'm gonna have to look into
You should watch it. They're all on Netflix. Like I said, I tell people all the time, I think of the Netflix horror films, like their original ones, that is by far the best of the best 3.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I'm trying to find it because not Netflix, sorry. Hulu did something like that for Halloween, and I'm trying to find the name of it because
Treat?
Huh?
Trick or Treat?
No. It
that was a good one.
I didn't see that
what
one.
what it essentially was, it was like a whole bunch of different stories.
VHS?
No, I can't, and it's killing me here. Man, because
Was it different holidays?
No. It was all supposed to be in the feeling of Halloween. And some of these stories were kind of just like, whoa, they went there. So like this one's like kind of like super dark, but it was just like a shining light on society. So it was about this mother, her husband, and their son, and they were in New Orleans for like Mardi Gras, right? And you know, the son saw something and kind of went off, right? He went off on his own, and they're freaking out. They're trying to find him. They finally find him, and he's terrified. And he's like, this monster was, you know, he was trying to take me. He was trying to do something inappropriate. And then like the whole episode, you're trying to figure out, like, did he make this up? Is it like an actual monster? And who they reveal actually did it is just like jarring. You're like, oh shit, they went there. Like, that's super fucking dark. I won't spoil it in case I do figure out what the hell it is called, so I can tell you guys to watch it. But I would love to review that with you guys, because all of those episodes are just like, damn, it's dark, bro. Like, they really dig into like the whole mythos of the mind and kind of what makes people tick and everything. It's completely crazy. But when you said that, it made me think of that. And me and Dom were talking about that when it came out a few years ago. And we were like, bro, if Hulu continues this might be like really big for them. But it was like only a one-off.
I just messaged my cousin about it because he's big on horror too. So hopefully he'll get back to me. I don't know if my description was great about it, but
mine probably wasn't great. So
it might have been the Into the Dark series.
I'm trying to see what it was. It's really killing me.
I hope it comes to you because I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I really want to. Yeah,
I really do too. It's driving me insane. Like, I'm actually in Hulu right now. You know what? Let me just pass it on while I keep looking. Blake, what's your number 10?
I went classic for my number 10 and my number 9. At number 10, I have The Mummy, which is just in general The Mummy, like the classic, the Brendan Fraser one, maybe not the Tom Cruise one, but all the other ones for sure. I haven't seen it. That's the only reason why. I can't rag on it if I haven't seen it, but
I'm glad you have it. You deserve better, Blake.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with mummies when I was a kid. Like, just sitting in class, I'd flip through all those mummy books just because it's really interesting, and it is genuinely freaky. So when you take something real like that and you can spin a horror icon out of it, it really appealed to me. And especially when I just ran my VHS of The Mummy into the ground as a kid because I watched it so many times. And I always preferred when Imhotep looked like a mummy. And when he gets in his human form, I kind of tune out for a little bit. But I like The Mummy. I think you can go to a lot of fascinating places when it comes to like the power set of the Mummy and kind of what he's after in each movie. So I'm always a big fan of him. Or her. I haven't seen the new one, but sometimes it's...
Look, I'll just give you this as like context. The new Mummy is so jarring that there's a point where you forget that it's about the mummy because all you see is Tom Cruise for the
it's more of an action movie than a horror movie, right?
It's so much Tom Cruise. You start to go like, oh, this is like a really dope Mission Impossible. And then you see the mummy pop up and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, it is the mummy. I just haven't seen her in like 30 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Of the movie, where is she? But I did find the movie. Trayvon, I didn't see what you sent me in case you might have sent me it, but the movie is called, not the movie, the series on Hulu is called Monsterland.
That wasn't what I just sent you. Yeah.
That is it? Okay. I
wasn't sure. I was like, is this it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's called Monsterland. It's 8 episodes. It's only a season 1. I don't think they renewed it, but I thought that first season was beautiful. Like the first episode is a mom struggling with her daughter has some kind of like mental illness, and she's just really struggling with barely being able to pay the bills and still being able to be a mother. The daughter's like biting people, like it's a whole bunch of shit. And then where they go with it is just like, holy shit, bro, like this is crazy. So when you guys start to check it out, please let me know. We'll do a full podcast about Monsterland. Because I think you guys will really have some strong opinions on it, whether it's good or bad. So I can't wait to see what you guys think about it. But thank you, Trayvon, for that. Because if I didn't just find it, that would have been so helpful. I was struggling bad. Trayvon, so I'll go to you. What do you have in them?
Jason, Friday 13. It's default. Like, that's just, it scares me. Unstoppable. I don't understand. That's basically why I put him there. That's an icon. Friday 13th. That's just, that is an icon to me. But there are other ones that I can't wait to get to that I'd rather talk about more. So
Absolutely.
next person.
Look, he is, I will say this: he and Michael Myers created not the generation, but created the concept of they don't run. Like, they don't have the patience for that shit. You could literally be like right in front of them, and then 5 minutes later, you're like 18 miles down the road, and then you stop, and you're like, "Whew, no way he found me!" And then he just shanks you through a tree, and you're like, "How? How? You were walking the whole time. Like, was I really even running? Like,
Right.
what happened here?" Beautiful. Right. Love it, love it, love it. All right, Sabrina, what do you got at your number 10?
Jigsaw.
That's 10?
Yeah, because, well, all right, it was difficult, but like he had to at least be on top 10 because I have like other ones that I was like, all right, I love these ones definitely more, but like, he has to be on my list. So like, I mean, you know, it was very hard to like put it all together, but I think because those movies are like, you know, so scary and iconic that he definitely like deserves to at least be part of the top 10. So I wish I wish he was higher, but when you see the whole list, I think you'll understand.
You know what, Sabrina? This is revenge because I put Cesar Romero so low. So I have to accept it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I did it because of you.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mask of the Phantasm. This is all because of you, Jamal.
But wait, time out. Remember, we have not done that show yet, so you don't know where I put it at yet. You don't know.
For now, it's too low for me.
For now. What you said about Jigsaw, I might cry and just put Phantasm at 30. But anyway.
No! Every time I put like one of your favorite characters lower, you put the Mask of the Phantasm lower. Oh my god.
I mean, look, it won't be that low, but you know, who knows? All right, let's move on for number 9. For number 9, I'm going to Candyman.
Oh.
Going to Candyman. It was a character that I wasn't. I mean, let me be very clear before I get killed in the comment section. I enjoyed the original. I did. But I really love the new interpretation of the most recent version. I love, because to me and my dad had this conversation. I learned everything about horror that I know from my dad. Shout out to my dad. But he would always tell me, if you're going to redo something, it needs to feel the same, but be drastically different. And that's what I look for in horror movies, especially when you want to do a remake. And for some people that are like, that makes no sense. What I mean by that is like the Nightmare on Elm Street that they remade, right? It never felt like Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, you're absolutely right.
But it was drastically different, but it was missing the other part, right? Mm-hmm. Like you going so serious with a character that is supposed to be an element of humor. I can
give you a perfect example. The new Texas Chainsaw. I literally did not feel like Leatherface at all. Like me and Blake watched it, and I was like, "This doesn't feel like it at all."
She said it just felt like a random Netflix horror movie, and they just slapped Leatherface on it.
Because they knew people would watch it for him.
I have feelings about that one.
Yeah, I mean, we can make a separate video for that, but like, no, like it literally was like, yeah, it was a Netflix original movie. And they just used Leatherface on it because they knew people would watch it if it was him.
I was just about to say, to be fair, that pitch meeting was probably just like the guy walked in and said, I have a perfect original concept. And Netflix was just like, okay, that sucks. What can we do to spice this up? Leatherface. Just throw him into this. We're good. And it was just like,
yeah, but it's just, you're right. But it was missing exactly what you said, that like, element that just feels like the character. I'm not even just saying because it's even when you make remakes or sequels and stuff like that, like you want that core part of that character or whatever character it is to feel like it, no matter what movie it is, whether it's sequel, remake, whatever. Right. But this did not feel it at all. To me, it felt like a disrespect to Leatherface and like everything they've ever done with him in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like I said, that's very important to me. It has to still be in the same vein. You can't drastically alter what made the character famous. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why it doesn't always work when they try to reboot stuff, because it's like, if you're missing that core part of that character, it's like, it's going to bomb.
Right, 100%. I mean, we're not going to change topics here, but I still can't get over that Simba couldn't couldn't fight that battle at the end of the live action Lion King by himself. It still haunts me. I'm like, that's a defining moment. He had to share it. But yes, I put Candyman.
Disrespect. The disrespect.
The pure disrespect is all I'm saying. But no, so I do put Candyman at number 9, and again, it's not because I dislike the character or anything like that. It's just there's better ones. There you go. Trayvon, what's your number 9?
Mark Hoffman from Saw 5 specifically. I guess when he kind of took over. I don't know. It's just somebody like that just gets slowly corrupted. It's very terrifying and iconic to me when that happens. Yeah, that trap that I haven't seen the movies in a long time, but I do remember there was a trap. I think sometime to his sister, and he trapped the guy in one of those traps, and it was basically you couldn't get out of it, so you knew the guy would die. It's like, that's sick. And I was like, okay, and which is iconic because I was like, I understand, I get it. So yeah,
I mean,
and he made it so it looks like a Jigsaw, but it wasn't. It was really him just wanted the guy to die. So I was like, well, hey. I
don't know about him.
I am sick. Okay.
No. Nothing about what you said was wrong. I'm with you in the same mindset there. But my only issue with Mark was when I think his character, I think of the moment where I said, you know what? I think I'm done with Saw. Is where they were all the cops were in the room and they were deciphering the voice. And they were slowly figuring out that Mark was the voice, and he fucking turned into Batman. Like he threw a knife at one guy that landed perfectly, threw gas on another, shot. So like I was like, what is happening here?
He was training. He's been training for this.
Trained by Bruce Wayne. That scene will always bother. I'm just like, yo, he's moving so fast, and no one could react. Everyone was just
killers move fast. Killers move fast.
Yeah.
Just like. You know what it reminded me of?
You get like, superhuman speed.
You know what it reminded me of? It was like the subtle change when you go from Fast and the Furious to like Fast 5, and you're just like, oh man, racing doesn't matter anymore. Like they're just doing other things. After Saw 4, you were just like, all right, the core concept clearly doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do is what you're doing at this point. And that's what always bothers me after 4. Like, I can maybe stomach 5, but 6 and 7 was just, I'm lying. 7 was only entertaining with the two guys that were arguing over the girl. And it was just like, no, I love her. And then they were just like, you know what?
I don't think I saw those two.
Oh, you didn't see 7? 7 had probably the greatest kill ever, Trayvon. Oh, man. Yeah, watch 7, bro. That was one of the greatest kills in Saw history.
So when she was like suspended on top of the thing, and
yes, and they were fighting over her, and then they were just like, you know what, man? And they were just like, bow, and it was like beautiful. I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was
that also was very like, what is the concept here? Like, why? It was very confusing. But anyway, okay. I like your number 9. Trayvon. It's just if I can get that Batman scene out of my head,
yeah.
Maybe lock on to that a little bit more, but goodness gracious, was that just like a what am I watching? But Blake, what is your number 9?
Another classic. I got Dracula at number 9. Always been a fan of vampires. He's the king of vampires. I've seen pretty much every movie with Dracula except for Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman, which I know is like the kind of the top tier Dracula movie. And the reason I haven't is because like I want to pay attention. I want to be in the mood for it. Like I don't want to just go off and do other stuff. But I'm saving for a special time to sit down and finally watch that one because I know I'm gonna like it. So I gotta pick a right night. But yeah, that was like my first introduction into horror. I had a horror book and Dracula was always on the front. I made like a makeshift cape. I always had the vampire fangs. Dracula was like my gateway into all the horror stuff. And That's also what really helped get me into the horror side of Marvel. Like just Dracula floating around the Marvel universe somewhere. I'm like, oh, who goes up against him? That's the corner that I want to follow. So yeah, I like it that his impact has bled into my comic book passion too.
Yeah, I mean, when you said Dracula, the first thing I thought, and I know people are gonna destroy me, the first thing I thought was Dracula Untold. I fucking love that.
I haven't seen that one either.
I love it too.
I love that movie.
So mad I didn't keep going.
Bro, I still to this day was just like, bro, you had Dracula Untold and the Wolfman like right there, and you decide to just squash that whole universe to double down and do a horrible mummy movie. Like you didn't even get better. You got worse when you decided not to use that monster universe. I don't even understand how that works. But no, Dracula, I love that. And look, Dracula he's coming to the MCU pretty soon himself. So
yeah, it's Ethan Hawke. We're gonna see him in Moon Knight.
That's gonna be either Moon Knight, Blade, say that for Midnight Sun. You know, Dracula,
Ghost Rider, perhaps.
He can be anywhere.
Ooh! I need him in Ghost Rider. I need Ghost Rider.
So yeah, so this thinking about Ghost Rider is like it makes me want to cry because I'm like, if we get Ghost Rider soon, that means we're definitely getting Mephisto soon. And
oh my god,
I don't know if I'm ready for Mephisto. My hopes are up. So
Spider-Man's like, no. But no,
I love Dracula at number 9. Jayla, what's your number 9?
Actually, Sabrina kind of touched on this. It's the entire Sawyer family from Texas Chainsaw. Because for me, what's always been so scary isn't just Leatherface, but the family themselves. Leatherface has always been more of a henchman for them. And the idea of you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and the people that you run to save you are also a part of this big game is pretty freaky. Being stuck around this entire family that's just trying to eat you, terrifying. I think the entirety of the family is a big one for me.
I need to watch these movies.
Good one.
I like that. I like that one a lot. That's funny. A whole family trying to.
No.
I didn't even know that. So I'm learning. I never watched that.
As the movies go on, they kind of forget the core of what was so scary about the first Texas Chainsaw. And it's a group effort what they're doing at the farm.
Would it kill them to give us Chop Top in one of the newer movies?
Absolutely, from what I can see.
Chop Tops.
But no, that's what makes it, I guess, fun is the entirety of this insane family playing off of each other while you're just trying to get out.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing scarier than like stopping Leatherface and you're like, whew, let's go home. And then the mom storms out with an axe. And you're like, no, there can't be more of you.
It keeps on coming.
That's freaking epic. I love that. All right, before we move on to Didge, Trayvon, and Trayvon, I went to you already. Didge and Sabrina. I want to check out the comment section here. All right, let's see what we got here. Goodness gracious. Stone Cold. Shout out to Brandon. Yeah, that was a great WrestleMania yesterday. Scary movie is underrated. We all agree here. No one will disagree with you on that. Top 10 GVN Talk Edition. Great topic. Appreciate that, Tia. Sith Morrison says, my favorite horror icon is Ash Williams. My boy Ash will always be the GOAT. Jayla will never disagree with that.
Never.
Tapio says, my top 10 horror icons are Frankenstein, The Mummy, Jason Voorhees, Chucky, Michael Myers, Dracula, Van Helsing, Norman Bates, Jack Torrance, and Freddy Krueger. That's a mouthful. That's a lot. That's also a very interesting group of people.
They had that ready set up.
100%. I would be very interested to see what Dracula and Van Helsing would do in the same room together.
Oh God,
there would have to be some kind of beef there. 100%.
Yeah.
Forgot y'all had a stream. Come on, Mystery, you gotta know this. And this is this list exclusively for slashers, or can we do other characters? Because mine is a bit. It's just horror. So whatever horror means to you, to a degree, whatever horror means to you, you can go that.
All the cats from Cats.
Yeah.
Right. No. Just the movie Cats.
The movie.
Just the movie itself is a horror icon.
The DVD terrifies me.
Right. Tapio says, I hate the new Nightmare of Elm Street mostly because the makeup is terrible and makes Freddy look so weird. Worse yet, Dead by Daylight used the remake skin and not the original. Pete says, buzz up all those TikTok phone hammerheads in the bus. BJ Nix, what's up? Does this include Bella's Dracula? I think so. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I think so. Oh, wait, here we go. It's for you, Blake. Question for Blake. Christopher Lee's Dracula versus Bella's Dracula. Who would win?
Oh, that is a tough question because I love them both. Oh, man. That's a mean question, too. That's... I think I'm gonna lean towards a bias and just say Bela Lugosi's Dracula because to me, like when I picture Dracula, I picture him. So I'm gonna give it to him. But like Christopher Lee, he's always gonna be a top tier Dracula.
I feel you there. And shout out to BJ for the donation. We appreciate it. Love you for that, man. Appreciate that. All right. Sabrina, what do you got at number 9?
I feel like it's gonna make a lot of people mad.
No.
It's gonna be Chucky.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that.
Especially
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know, cause like it's all the classic ones, and like I don't know. Like the top of my list are ones that probably nobody's gonna say. I feel like. Well, I'll be surprised if anyone else says them. I feel Blake knows them, but yeah.
Hold on, Sabrina. I'm dying laughing because I know in Sabrina's head it was like, I know people are gonna freak, but let me say it. And then like when we were all just like, oh yeah, no, that's fine.
I was like, okay. Well, I don't know because you guys, you freaked over Jigsaw being 10, so I don't know. You can't blame me.
Only because I still to this day I'll get into that when I present Jigsaw later on. But no. Chucky being, I could see that because again, to me, I appreciated Child's Play. That was after Child's Play, I didn't really like where they went with it. Present day. I appreciated the series that just came out. I thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I love the series. Yeah, me and Blake watched it.
Enjoyed the series. But to me, I just prefer Child's Play. To me, it was just...
Yeah. Well, I would say this. Yeah, I would say Child's Play and probably the show. Like, the show made me love him more again.
Yeah.
Right. And if I'm being honest, I kind of felt like Child's Play leaned more so on just the killing aspect, and the newer ones was more so just like, all right, we're just going to be as vulgar and as wild as possible. And it's like, I didn't really need that. Like, I didn't really need any of that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like with, excuse me, like, I know the trend that they're doing now with, like, whether it's, like, horror, like, icons or whatever, like, turning into shows and stuff like that, it's supposed to, like, kind of introduce for, like, a new generation so they don't have to just keep making movies and stuff like that. Mm. So, like, I think it was, like, if, like, there's a newer generation that's gonna, see, like, horror movies and, like, watch Chucky, like, I think that would be good for that. Because it fit, the time period and stuff. But no, I would definitely say, yeah, they're like OG, like movie, like really, kind of focused on, the core part of Chucky, like when he first got introduced as being like a killer. Now it's like, yeah, like everything's like all crazy and like they try to do like the craziest shit in his movies, and it's like each movie gets like crazier and crazier, and I think they base it off of that more.
Right. And quick shout out to Blake, because Blake, I swear, only when you're on a podcast with me do I see Moon Knight commercials. I don't really. Like, anytime I manifested. Blake, it's just like boom, Moon Knight.
I'm telling you, like now that Blake's, like the Moon Knight sanity you literally cannot escape him. Like I always see him all the time now, and I'm like, oh god.
I love that Blake showed the figure, because like the last shot that just finished was the shot of like the figure just laying on the ground.
Oh, that one.
I don't know how Blake did that, but he just manifested Moon Knight on my screen.
I had a feeling.
He's like, you know what? Juan hasn't had enough Moon Knight today. Let me help with that.
I can always help with that.
Let's see. Joe says Freddy 2, Michael Myers. Freddy 1, Michael Myers, Frankenstein. Ghostface, Jigsaw, Annabelle, Bella's Dracula, Jason, Chucky, and then Pennywise. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Solid.
By the way, to Sabrina and Blake, I'm the guy on Twitter who fan casted you two as Tim Drake and Barbara Gordon.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
I
Hi. Oh my god, I love that. That was great. Thank you.
My favorite Robin. I'm never gonna complain about that.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm my favorite Batgirl.
I kind of feel like you need to fan cast the whole GVN Talk crew. Like that doesn't.
Yeah. Come
That would be
on.
a fun podcast in itself.
Yeah.
See, like I get Barbara, but sometimes I get Stephanie, and I'm like, oh, I'm like,
Yeah,
which
that
is
one
it?
too.
I'm like, which is it?
Pick one. Either way,
You
you
do
win.
Stephanie like that. Sabrina's just like, ew, Stephanie. I get Stephanie.
No. I love Stephanie, but it's just like it's more like when my hair is like really blonde, it makes sense. But right now, it's
I
not.
have
So I'm
found
like,
several comic panels of Stephanie Brown that looks 100% like her. It's uncanny.
like he literally
Fun.
saves them just because they look like me, and he's like, yeah, this one looks like you. Like, not to like go off topic, but like in Titans in season 1. Oh no, not season 1. In the
Oh
new
God, everyone's
season.
gonna leave the chat, Sabrina.
Sorry, you're gonna have to deal with this.
No.
I'm kidding.
Can I just talk about my show? Like,
All right, no, trust me, we will talk about Titans on the podcast soon. I will make sure we do that. I got you for that. But
thank
there
you.
go, Sabrina. There's gonna be a Titans.
There
Titans
will be.
podcast now.
so you guys should know for future reference if you don't want to watch it.
Didge,
But
what do
please
you got
watch
at
it.
number 9?
I have good points.
What do you got at number 9, Didge?
So I want to preface this where what I thought for horror icons. I didn't go just character. I'm going to be honest. A horror icon I felt was anybody who, contributed to the genre of horror. And with that, I went Ari Aster for my number 9.
Oh.
Even if that was like, okay, why is he at 9?
So I did. It got dropped because I did feel like characters should probably be the most forthcoming of the list. But I think we would have been. We had to include like a director, and Ari Aster is one of my favorite horror directors. Like Hereditary and Midsommar are 2 of my favorite horror movies ever, and I can't wait to see Disappointment Boulevard. But I think just what he's doing, especially for those being, I think his first 2 feature film directing, is just crazy. So I definitely think he is a horror icon.
That's fair. And look, if you have that mindset, I'm going to speak for Jayla and Trayvon real quick. I don't know about everybody else. But if we're doing that, the 3 of us definitely want to give an honorable mention to the Godfather, Wes Craven.
Yes, I was just
I was
thinking
gonna
that.
I was gonna have him on my list too.
Yeah,
I was gonna have him on my list too, but I was like, I don't want to put too many directors and like.
Absolutely.
if you're gonna put anyone, the Godfather has to make it on there.
And that's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! You know what I'm saying? Okay, but that's definitely an honorable mention. Like, damn.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Trayvon, I definitely spoke for you because I know how much you love Scream. I know that's probably like the only real like slasher that you're like, all right, I could do that.
It's actually on my list quite a few times. But yeah,
Quite a few
different,
times.
different people, man. Like,
I
You know what?
respect
You
it.
can
I
do that.
respect
That's
it.
fair. Even though technically they're all the same thing, I get you. I get what you're saying. I get what
some of them are brutal, others.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I love Trayvon. I swear to God. All right. I'm going to number 8. Let me start off for number 8. That's why Sabrina, there was no judgment. My number 8 is Chucky.
Okay.
To me, like I said, I just wasn't the biggest fan of the evolution of Chucky. Because look, I remember how I felt. Obviously, I wasn't alive, I don't think, when Child's Play came out. So going back and watching the originals, my sister had a Dora doll that
Oh my god.
we took the batteries out the first day she got it because she would just fucking hit that thing. Look, I could probably tell you the most Spanish of anybody here just off of one day of her hitting that fucking button 30 times. So we took the batteries out, like, all right, enough of that shit. Like, no more. And like 3 o'clock in the morning, she just starts fucking singing. And we're like, where's that coming from?
Oh my god.
We're like, yo, did she put the batteries back in this fucking thing? So we go to look at it. There's no batteries in there. No batteries in there. And it didn't do it again. So it wasn't like it kept happening. It didn't.
I'm sorry?
That was enough for us to go, okay, yeah, hell no. Dora's got to go.
Gotta go.
Dora's got to go.
See, like horror movies, like that's why you don't screw around with dolls.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not at all. Not
Nope. I used to have like those porcelain dolls. I literally was like to my mom, I was like, these are lovely, but please get them away from me. I was like, I do not want them anymore.
Yeah, not just get them away from me. You gotta burn them. Like I gotta watch.
Yeah, no, I swear to God. Like I think this was like even before, like we're like Annabelle and stuff like that came out. I was just like, Mom, I was like, I really don't feel comfortable having these. And they were pretty dolls, but like I think I broke a leg on one of them, and I was like, Mom, please get them away. I was like, I'm scared.
Yeah, they gotta go. And look, it's someone who's watched Chucky enough times. You can't throw it away. You gotta burn it.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened to them, but like, yeah, they're not anywhere in my house, so we're good.
Yeah, and it's funny because if you ask my sister, she'll swear to you that never happened. But it's somebody who woke up.
That's so scary.
Me and my mom, it for sure happened. And yeah, we were just like, nope, she's got to go. She's got to pull out that map and you send Dora wherever she wants to go. But it won't
God.
It won't be here. Can you say you got to get the hell up out of here, Dora? All right, let's move on. Blake, what do you got at number 8?
Number 8, I have Reagan from The Exorcist, or Reagan / Pazuzu, however you want to identify that entity. The Exorcist is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and while she isn't at number 1, I think out of my entire list, Reagan's the scariest one that's on the list. And I like to just classify as Pazuzu in general, because I mean the girl isn't the one that's evil; it's the thing possessing her, and it continues to it's a franchise, so we get multiple appearances of Pazuzu, and just you actually see that demon a couple times, one in the statue, the actual demonic form, and that freaky face that flashes throughout that entire movie whenever some spooky thing is happening. And I feel like Reagan is one of those icons where you could show a little kid or an adult the same image of that creepy looking face with the green vomit, and everyone will be like, oh shit, The Exorcist, get that away from me. Like, to me, that's kind of the horror movie that has just continued scaring people through generations. And just, how could you not love the icon of that movie? I think it is the scariest horror movie ever made. I feel like anybody can argue with me, but I have points.
I think you're right. No, you're definitely right.
It has since to be overthrown, and I don't think it will be.
It's tough because my brain immediately goes to the Blair Witch Project, like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's funny is I've obviously always hailed this as like best horror movie, scariest horror movie. When Hereditary was coming out, the marketing on the TV said like this generation's Exorcist, and I was like, oh, well, you just killed the movie. How are you going to compare it to The Exorcist? Now my expectations are way too high. I went to the theater, saw Hereditary, and I was like, well, fuck. That was pretty damn close to The Exorcist.
Well,
all right.
I will say this, Blake. I'm glad you brought up The Exorcist, because actually my favorite is The Exorcist of Emily Rose. That's
a great movie.
That's a good one too. And
we don't give enough credit to Jennifer Carpenter to do Exorcism of Emily Rose and then to follow that up with Quarantine. She had a good 1-2 punch with those two. But yeah, the only reason why I never ever go back to watch The Exorcism is I don't do that. That's one thing you won't get Joanne to talk about. I don't do that. But also, I'm very squeamish when it comes to throwing up in any aspect.
Yeah.
You throw up around me, you're on your own. Yeah, you throw up around me, you're on your own. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
You gotta get the hell back. Because like it makes me do it, so you gotta go. Like I've been called the mean brother when my sister was sick. It was just like, ooh, you gotta get out of here.
Oh my god,
you gotta go. She's like, but mom's not here. I don't care. Find Jesus. You gotta go.
Find Jesus. Oh my god, Juan, no.
Sorry.
Find Jesus. Oh my god.
Sorry, not me. But no, I mean, look, I really thought about putting Emily Rose, and like you said, it's more so the demonic spirit than anything else.
Yeah.
But what Jennifer Carpenter did with all those bending contortions and all that, it was just like, woo! Man, I tell you,
Yeah.
I couldn't marry Jennifer because like I just have like I'd freak out like anytime she was upset. Like I saw Exorcism. Like, relax. Like,
Yeah. Speaking of the
relax.
the contortionist, that iconic scene of Reagan walking down the stairs like that spider walk and then throwing up, is that's kind of a Mandela effect thing, because that wasn't in the original movie. It's a deleted scene. And they added it in on the director's cut or the final cut, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And then mixed it in. So it was never, I don't know. You just kind of triggered that in my head. I've always wanted to bring that up. Like, no, that was not in the original movie. But it's a great scene and it should have been.
Nah, it's for sure.
I remember seeing that scene. Like, I don't remember. Well, that was the first horror movie I had ever saw. I remember being a kid.
Damn.
It's all been downhill from there.
Well, like, my parents, they both loved that movie, and they used to, because I was too young, they wouldn't let me watch it. And I remember I had to be like 7, maybe 8, but I was like, I promise I'm not gonna get scared. I promise I'm a big boy now, blah blah blah. And I watched it. I'm watching it with them. My brother, he's 6 years older than me, so he wasn't that scared. But I am terrified, but I can't show it. So I'm just sitting there like, all right, I go to bed. I ask them, I'm just gonna sleep in the living room. Hey, we should sleep in the living room tonight, guys. Like, I was terrified.
I started off small with horror movies. Like my dad, like I've never told anyone this, but I had nightmares after X-Men. It sounds weird, I know, but Wolverine and Mystique gave me nightmares for fucking months.
How about the Senator Kelly turning into the water? Nope, that
didn't bother me. It was
really
seeing a guy with claws and seeing someone blue transform into anyone she wanted. That freaked me out.
I tried to help you out, but
look.
We all have our fears.
One thing you will always learn about me, Blake, is I always keep it 100%. Always. I never fake the funk for the audience. If something scared the shit out of me, I'll openly say it. It did. But yeah, no, my dad, like, I remember my first few movies at like 6, 7, and 8 was like Blade, X-Men, Jurassic Park. So like my dad had my mindset completely different. So when I got to Saw, it was just like, okay, this is only like a little bit crazier than what my mind thought those other movies were. And then he took me to see Hostel, and that's when my life changed. It was just like,
oh Jesus.
Oh my God! What is this? Like, is this legal? Because I remember, like, Blake, do you remember when Hostel first came out? It was the whole thing of they weren't going to let it come out in theaters.
Yeah.
They weren't going to release it in theaters. They couldn't figure out the rating to put around it. There was so much controversy for Hostel. But I remember seeing that shit and going, okay. Well,
I think not only because that movie was just so graphic, and that and Saw came out, I think, just a year apart, which gave birth to that splatter genre, whatever.
Which is crazy because, like, if you watch Hostel and then watch Saw, this is not a knock to Saw whatsoever. Hostel makes Saw's death scene seem comical.
Yeah.
Because Hostel seems so real. Like, and again, that was based off of a true story. That was actually happening over in the islands. Rich people were spending money.
For anybody that doesn't know, I think the scariest thing about Hostel to me is that what you just said. Eli Roth wanted to make a documentary about those torture rooms or whatever. Yeah. And as he researched further, some people were like, why do you want to know this? Like, don't. Like, might want to back up. He's like, all right, fictional movie. I'm not going to dig into this. So yeah, that shit did actually happen.
And the biggest pushback, or the biggest fear really was that was a wealthy thing. Like wealthy people would spend thousands
when
of
you're
dollars
bored with so much money, what left is there to do than to just torture people?
Torture people. That's it. Just torture. So yeah. So shout out to Eli Roth for that, man. Because that's what haunts me is to know that was actually happening out there in the world when that shit came out.
He got too close to it.
Said that, I love that you were like, Eli was just like, fuck that.
Yeah. He was just like, all right, I got upset. I'm out.
All right. So I went Chucky.
You sorry.
No, you're good. Blake, you went Exorcism for number 8, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jayla, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is actually Pennywise, but as in like the interdimensional demon Pennywise, not just the clown. I'm a big fan of like Lovecraftian type horror, and the idea of this being that not only can transform into any of your fears, but if you see it and it's like its actual state, it will like break your brain.
Right.
Insane. I really love the lore and deep lore behind him, and I hope, like we were talking about the other night, that we get to see more of that side.
Yeah, 100%. And look, no knock on the original, right? You guys know how I feel about
Careful.
80.
Be careful.
No knock on it whatsoever. No knock.
Nice.
I just think the newer interpretation brought so much more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Even just the score of when the scenes would pop up would just hit so heavy that you're like, oh shit, I know it's coming, kid, get out of there. like walk away, kid. But what made the sequel so enjoyable for me was it didn't depend on jump scares. But like there were a lot of scenes, and I won't say specific in case maybe someone out there hasn't seen it, but there were a few scenes to where it's like, all right, they're building up the suspense, clearly someone's gonna die, and then they get out of it and you're like, oh fuck, like does that actually happen in horror movie? You know what I'm saying? Where you kind of get that false sense of like, okay, this character's safe, and then it's like, well, no, they're not. They're just safe for now. So I just appreciate the newer interpretation a lot more. Not saying it's better or whatever. I just enjoy it more. Because I think it just brings a lot. It brings a different take that I enjoy a lot. But I appreciate that being number 8. I did think, Jayla, you tricked me. I did think that would be higher for you. I did. I really did. So you tricked me on that. So
I have an interesting list.
I can't wait to see your top 7 because I really thought that would be your that would be higher for you.
It might get controversial. We'll see.
Oh my! Everyone thinks that there is. I'm terrified. Like I can't wait to see what you guys are gonna freak out on my number 7. But
I didn't think the director was gonna be controversial, so
no, not at all. It's a great look. If you're gonna put any director on there, not named Wes Craven, that was a brilliant name to pull out. So there would never be any arguments there. But all right, Sabrina, I want to go to you. What's your number 8?
It's gonna be Freddy.
Ooh,
Definitely.
another
Yeah.
low one.
Yeah. Well, you know I feel like Blake. I feel like you know like the top 3.
I got it.
Top 3. I just want to know what your top 7 is. I want to know 1 to 7.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's like one. No, I think there's 3 that nobody's gonna say, but I consider them like horror icons, and I know probably nobody's gonna say.
My number 7 for sure is something no one has on their list. 100%.
Well, just all have the same ones on our list.
Yeah, like I'm waiting to see if anybody says it, and if someone says it, I'm gonna be so surprised. But like, it's just like
wait now I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I love him as a character, but like the movies, you know, like being the jump scare and everything, but like I don't know. I think for certain like when I was making this list, I was thinking about what movies like they all have like they're different movies, they're all good in their own way, but like I was like, okay, which ones do I enjoy more with the character?
Yeah.
So like I love the character, and like there's some of them that are like a lot of them used to scare me because the jump scares. But I'd have to like go back and like really, really, really watch them. But like, yeah, he deserves to be on top 10 at least. But yeah,
100%. He's like,
yeah,
he's probably the most iconic. If we're being honest, is probably Freddy. Like that's the one that people's grandmothers know about. Like your grandmother knows.
I would say him personally. I would say him and Michael Myers.
Yeah. Well, Michael Myers
I have
probably
a lot
more
to
so than
say
Freddy Krueger.
about the Freddy Renaissance, but we'll get there when we reach him on my list.
For sure. But yeah, no, Freddy is definitely one of the OGs. 100%.
Yeah. So like I'm trying to like be fair, because I'm like I definitely like love all the like OGs, and like there's some are spread across my list, but like
but again,
yeah.
Remember, this isn't us making a factual list. This is us making our opinion
favorites.
Right. So wherever you put it is great because that's where that's
yeah. Well, like I said, like there's other ones that I was like, okay, you know what? They're gonna be on like top 3. So like the other iconic ones that I'll always love have to be lower, just because like now that we're making this list, I have to have them up top.
as long as he made your list is all I cared about. If he did,
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if I could call myself a true horror fan if they weren't all the icons like that weren't on my list.
I won't say that because again, that's your opinion. So I can't say you're not a true fan because it's not on your list. But it would be jarring. I would not.
Yeah,
it would be questionable.
I would have
questionable. I'd be like, oh, do you really like this kind of horror? I'd be like, yeah, kind of.
What your top 10 is without a Freddy Krueger? That's what I would want to know. What your top 10 would be without a Freddy? That would be.
Ooh. Yeah.
But Trayvon, what do you got at number 8?
It's Chucky. So.
Ooh. Okay.
I always liked Chucky. I always thought it was more comical than anything. I don't know. I used to laugh at those movies a lot. The kills were crazy, but it was like sometimes when he like run at them with them knife, it's just always funny to me. I laugh more than anything else. So yeah, that's why that's an icon. Definitely, everybody knows Chucky. So I couldn't leave him off. So yeah, and I'm sorry, I had so much fun with Bride of Chucky. I had so much fun with that movie. That is iconic movie on itself. But Chucky had to be on here.
Outside of Jennifer Tilly, I hate those movies with a passion.
That's so funny.
Passion. I mean a passion. Goodness, I try not to hate, but I vehemently hate those movies. Every last one of those of that whole saga that they did with those fucking movies. Anyway. No, I'm just like I said, I'm just glad he's on your list because Chucky is very iconic. Didge, what you got at number 8?
I got Dracula. I think for a lot of the same reasons that Blake had already said. When just vampires in general, and then that obviously Dracula is the quintessential vampire. I think he already made all the major points I need to make.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Blake went deep.
Yeah,
a little bit.
He went deep. All right, so let's move on. Number 7. This is the one I do not think anyone on this panel will have. It's such a deep cut, but I remember when my dad put this on for me, and I remember watching it, like, what the fuck is this? And then I just got sucked into it. It's Tall Man from Phantasm.
Oh, okay.
There was nothing that terrified me more than hearing, "Come here, boy," in that deep-ass voice. It's just like, and then like the little balls he would throw with like the spikes on it or whatever, like the little blades. Terrifying. I love Tall Man. And it's funny because I called my dad immediately because I couldn't remember his name. I'm like, his name's not Phantasm. I'm like, what is his name? My dad's like, Tall Man. And I'm like, thank you. So shout out to my dad for that because I would have looked very stupid coming here going, yeah, Phantasm, loved him.
Phantasm
Movie? It's like, yeah. Oh wait, no, that's not the character's name. Yeah. Oh man, shout out to him. I knew that would be a deep cut that no one would have on there, mainly because no one even probably knows who the fuck that is. So shout out to Tall Man. You made it in my top 7. Shout out to you, Tall Man. All right, Blake, what's your number 7?
Number 7, I have Ghostface. And specifically, my favorite Ghostface would be Billy Loomis and Stu Macher from the original movies. But just Ghostface in general, like, this is a mantle of, like, the most specifically targeted horror killer mantle. Like, it is for Sydney. All those movies, it's to get at her in some way. You get a little bit of a, it's a little loose in the new one, but every time someone has suited up as the Ghostface killer in those first 4 movies, it's always been for Sydney. Like, that mask is just kind of like the symbol of like, get Sydney Prescott. And I just think the idea of a specific killer mantle for one person is kind of chilling, and that it could be anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and look, the first 4 were either related or like knew something. Like, it was deep. But I will say the one thing I didn't like about 5, and this isn't a spoiler for anyone out there because I know it's still relatively new.
So we can't. That was my question. I want to know: could we? Can we not spoil 5?
If that is, just say spoiler alert before you go into it. I will not rob you of that. Just say spoiler alert. But the one thing it robbed from me that I kind of felt was like you're kind of taking away like the mythos of it is there wasn't someone in the suit and then a mask reveal. It was more just like, "Ha, gotcha, it's me," and it's like, don't get me wrong, the surprise was just like, "Oh shit, that's great," but I need the Scooby-Doo reveal. That was what always made Scream so interesting to me, was the Scooby-Doo reveal of like, all right, we stopped you. Who is it? It's me. Like I always need that. So hopefully in the next one we get that, we get back to that. Because to me, that's the most important ingredient. That's like making cake, and it's like, did you put sugar in?
I mean,
oh shit, I forgot sugar.
Did you get that in Scream 2?
Yeah, we got that in Scream 2, didn't we?
No.
Yes, because she shot.
It was a Timothy Oliphant.
But he didn't do this.
He did the unmasking.
Yeah, he did do the unmasking.
Oh, okay.
I look, if I'm remembering it
she
wrong,
she kind of gave it away though. Like she was already talking about it. It wasn't like.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
No. Let's say you're right, Trayvon. I'm just saying I need, when they're going in for the final kill, for you to be in the suit. Is all I'm saying. It doesn't have to always be the. I need you in that suit. That's all I'm saying. But if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I always do need that recipe of being in the suit. What'd you say?
What is do you know? Like what happened at the end of Scream 2?
Do I know?
I was asking Jayla.
I feel like he was in the suit, but it's been a while since I've revisited 2. So anyone could be right. But I feel like he was in the suit. It just might have been
the mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
mom definitely wasn't. We know that.
Yeah, she was never in it. Yeah.
So I don't know.
The mom got some hollow points in her. That's for sure.
I don't know what was the deal with. I need to revisit it because I'm not sure.
For Scream 2.
I think you're right. I think he wasn't in it
let's go
during the reveal.
I think he was, but we could be wrong. You know what?
I'm getting tested on my Scream knowledge. Oh no.
Hold on. I'm thinking
all on stage. They were on stage.
I think Trayvon's right because I think he was appealing to her, and that was kind of luring her in. If he was in the suit, that scene would have went by a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think he's right.
I would bet money on him being in the suit.
In the suit?
The end of Scream 2. Timothy Oliphant suit reveal, yeah.
Okay, look,
definitely.
I'm about to look it up right now.
I want to agree with you. All right, so while you look that up, so Blake, you just went and you said okay.
Ghostface.
Did I go to you?
No.
Okay. What's your number 7?
The Xenomorph. Let me tell you, Alien was a terrifying movie. Alien was terrifying to this day, and it was one I get it. Somebody can call it a sci-fi, whatever. It was a terrifying movie. It had all of the jump scares. It had the final girl who you love. Like you wanted her to win. Like,
oh my god! Yeah, I literally thought I was the only one who had this on my list. Oh my god!
And with that, the iconic part of that movie, outside of that, was the monster. Face huggers are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way.
Wait, say it again, Jay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Say that.
He wasn't in the suit.
He wasn't.
He wasn't
in the suit.
He wasn't.
No, he did.
He did.
I just saw it. He did it. He did it. He came up to him and she was trying to get him off the thing. He did.
Oh, and he did do the face reveal.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, so he did do the Scooby-Doo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things happen. Continue. I'm sorry.
I'm like, look, Trayvon convinced me. I'm like, damn, maybe Trayvon is right. It's like
I was watching the scene where like he had the gun to her.
Okay. Before that.
Yeah. Right.
Got you.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Didge. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Didge.
No, but I feel like the iconicness of just the Alien in general. I think that's understated. I feel like I mostly need to prove that Alien is a horror film.
Oh, it is.
Aliens.
Oh no, it absolutely is.
Absolutely,
you don't need to prove that. Now, where I will get canceled here is, I love that being on your list. It's just the original isn't why I would have put it on my list.
See, I think the original is the one that sort of set it all in motion. That's the one.
Yeah.
That was the one that was the most scary out of any of them.
But in my opinion only.
Yeah, fair.
I've been killed about it enough, so at this point, it doesn't even bother me. To me, Prometheus is a far superior Alien movie.
Really?
What?
Whoa.
No way.
So saying it's better than Alien?
It's better than Alien.
I do like Prometheus.
No. Oh my god, no.
But better?
Did you guys know what the premise of that movie was till you got towards the end of that movie.
Yeah, I
didn't even remember
I'm pretty sure I saw an article saying that it was supposed to be the prequel.
Okay, so if you saw the article, then never mind. But what I loved about it was it did something that you usually see remakes shy away from, and that was establish its own mold.
Fair.
Right? Establish
Fair.
its own mold. It didn't just piggyback off the name of Alien. The second one, Resurrections, 100% tried to recreate everything of Aliens too. That's why it was garbage. But Prometheus to me was such a deep story into the mythos of the xenomorphs, and I just loved how Ridley just dove right into the heart of everything, and you finally get to the end and you're like, oh shit, like you know what it reminds me of? I always make this comparison. It's that Split. When you're watching Split and you're just like, bro, this was a great original movie. And then you get to the end, Bruce Willis ass walks up and you're like, whoa, what? Like, it's all
I don't disagree with the mythos and like expanding on the lore and all that. I just didn't love the execution of it. I think that, and one nitpick that I can make is that movie revealed that the space jockeys, that was their name, right?
Mm-hmm.
That those were masks. Because in the first Alien, you see that giant person with the like tube mouth and everything, and then Prometheus said, "No, those are their suits," and they like take it off, and they're just like a humanoid, and I'm like, that's not what they look like.
I like that though. I like that. Look, Ridley Scott.
No, I hated that. I literally
out of all this. If Ridley decided, you know what, I want to make this change, I appreciated the change make, and like I said, I always give credit when you don't piggyback off the name, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you do choose to go different to bring in a newer audience. Because look, I always say that if you want to bring in a newer audience, you got to go different, right? You can't just
Thank you so
already
much.
been done. And that's why I applaud Prometheus, because it did bring in a newer audience. And Trayvon, you with me, right? You like Prometheus, right?
I don't think any of us said we didn't like Prometheus.
I haven't seen any Alien movies.
Oh wait,
Oh
Sabrina,
my
did you
god!
not
I
like
thought you were
Prometheus?
nodding your head.
no, I did not. I thought it was. I thought it was one of the weirdest. Like, I remember seeing it in the theaters with my dad, and my dad was like, "This is the movie." And I was like, "This is supposed to be like about like pre-Alien." And I was like, "Yeah." My dad was like, "This is awful." My dad's girlfriend fell asleep in the movie.
I had such a hard time with it because I loved every idea presented and disliked every execution of it.
Yeah, no, that's why I like. It's
I'm
like
you had gold. And you just dropped
no, that's what I mean. That's why I didn't enjoy it as much as like some people did. It's not because like I liked that it was like a prequel to Alien, like, you know, where they came from and everything, but like the execution just wasn't there, and I'm just like the whole time I was like, it's not even just like you're trying to like if you didn't go in knowing that it was an Alien prequel, you wouldn't know until like the end.
That's what I like. That's what I
No,
like.
but like it's but that's not like a good execution though, because it's like you're like, what are you watching the whole time? Because it's weird.
And look, if I hadn't said this before, I apologize, but I think it's far superior than Alien. All right, let's move on. Jawan! Look, what did I tell you guys? When I'm on a hill, I stand on it.
Oh my god.
I don't waver.
And Alien Covenant was like, here's so many more aliens.
Covenant,
I don't even think nailed it.
I'll never defend that movie. Alien Covenant can go to the.
I cannot defend either one.
Okay, let me just say this, right? I'm like, okay, you're bringing in all the aliens, cool. I can wrap my head around that. The script was horrible, but what made that movie truly a thing for me to throw up to was the fact that you took your main character and made her Ripley, and it's like, bro, what? What? Why? Why did you?
They're both like I'm such a big Alien fan. I cannot defend either one of those movies.
Oh,
like I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't mean to be mean, but like I completely like erase those from my brain. Like I do not count those.
At all. I just want you guys to know. I want all my loved ones to know. My last words on my deathbed will be Prometheus was far superior than Alien. And you'd
be wrong. And you'd still be wrong.
I want those to be my last words.
That is a take.
I even wanted.
No, man, that's a take.
I'm putting.
I was gonna have hot take.
I even want that on my tombstone. Like I don't even want Ear Lies. I just want Prometheus was far superior.
See, like, you know how we talk about hot takes? That's like the ultimate hot take I've ever like heard in my life.
I hear this every time I say it. Every
No
time
comment.
I say it.
My God.
I'm offended.
No comment.
Sorry. I
Oh.
don't know what y'all want me to say. I love it. I love it. I might even put it on in the background right now. I love that.
Oh no!
You made me want to watch Alien, so I get that.
Superior.
Ooh, let's watch it later. Let's watch it later, Blake.
Alien is a fantastic movie.
Yes.
Much better than Prometheus.
Yes.
I disagree so much.
Spitting
I'm
facts.
finding a way to delete it from HBO Max.
I don't trust your taste.
Yeah, I no longer trust him. That's why when he's like says his takes, I'm gonna be like,
Look,
We'll
like
see.
I said, guys, I always keep it honest with you. I don't fake the funk for anything. If that's how
You could have kept it a little less honest with that, but
No, I wouldn't be myself if I did that.
oh man, I
All
can't.
from
We're
time
getting
to
a bit
time.
iffy now.
Nah. Look, AJ thought he was the king of hot takes, right? Look,
Oof.
you know,
Oof.
let Jawan be Jawan. I'm king of hot takes around here. All right, let's move on. So we got Blake, we got Didge. Trayvon, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Ghostface from Scream 4.
Ooh.
I
Good one.
really enjoy. I don't know. It kept me going. Like, I appreciated how I really didn't think it was her. Like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, it can't be her, right? Like, I think what I like about Scream the most is just I'm sitting there trying to figure it out the whole time. They throw so many curveballs at you that you just always contemplating, who could it be? Who is it? No, it can't be that person. Definitely not. And then when they're really like, what the fuck? What? Like, I love that. I don't know. That's the one thing I love about it.
She was the closest to getting away with it too.
Yeah, and then Charlie, like, that was so funny to me. He was outside and like he was on this chair, and then she came out there. Oh, I got you. I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
So you're talking about Scream 4, right?
Yeah.
Her cousin? Okay. So that was another Batman moment. That was another moment that rubbed me the wrong way. That hospital scene where she's just like, all right, how is no one taking her out right now? Like, why is she so strong? Yeah. Again, some of these horror movies, I can't suspend belief. It's just like, all right, don't be ridiculous.
I think I'm used to them just doing that. Like, I think after I saw Jason get everything in the world done to him and nothing stops him, I'm like, I feel like everybody's superhuman. So it's fine.
Time out. Here's the difference. I can accept that from Jason because look at the stature of that man.
It still doesn't make sense,
little
though. Come
itty-bitty
on.
girl was shaking off everything, and I'm like, all right, come on now. Nobody can cold cut her. Nobody wants to just straight up hands. No one. No, but I agree with you. A lot of these reveals can make the list, honestly, because the Billy one is the one
my favorite
that threw me off.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming.
He comes in stabbed, and it's like, all right, well, clearly it can't be Billy. He got stabbed, and then it's just like, well, wait a minute, hold on, like, what's happening here? So I really did appreciate that. So I thought that was great. So yeah, I appreciate you having 4 on there, Trayvon, because I honestly didn't know about 4. I found out about 4 recently, and went back and watched it, and just I remember the first thing I said when 4 ended was, I would have been good assuming the new Scream was Scream 4. Like, I would have been completely okay if I said, all right, this didn't happen. Like, continuing
with the hot takes today.
Oh my God.
Scream 4 was so abysmal, bro.
Abysmal?
Oh my God.
Have you seen Scream 3?
I don't.
Scream 3, I can stomach way more than Scream 2.
You mean that voice changer thing didn't just take you out?
No.
I disagree.
But look, Trayvon, I'm with you on she caught me off guard. I did not see that whatsoever. So I'm with you on that. That reveal was just like, all right, what? Because what threw me off is when her mom died. And I'm like, all right, well, clearly she's off the hook. Like, no one just kills their mother. And it was just like, yes, I did.
Right.
I killed everybody. And it was like, okay, all right. That was wild.
Yeah, I see. It threw me off with Charlie too because I was like, okay, they're like they love it and whatever. But then earlier in the movie, you're like, oh, so it's not them. I just assumed it was them. At the beginning, I was like, oh, it's them, right? They love this shit, so they gonna do it. And I was like, it's not them. And then when he revealed it was, I was like, what?
I I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was Hayden from the first 15 minutes of that movie. It's Hayden. It's Hayden's character for sure. 100%, 100%, 100%.
She was too cocky.
That's why I thought it was her. I'm like, all right, come on, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's her, bro. Come on. So again, Scream does it. They really do a good job with that. Sabrina, what's your number 7?
Jason. Jason Voorhees.
Okay.
Yes.
You didn't seem
You
sure.
wanna
Then.
lock
You're
it
like,
in?
No, I was like, oh no, because I wanted to see which. I got confused what number we were on. But yeah, no, I have because I have the list on here. Yeah, no, Jason Voorhees.
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
look, I'll say this. No, actually, I'll bring it up when I bring up Jason. But I will say one of my favorite kills of Jason is 100% Freddy vs. Jason. That stab.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I know which one
Absolutely.
you're gonna say.
Let me tell you why that's one of my favorite kills. Is because I look for logic. I'm sorry, it's just what I do about life. That machete was not long enough to go through that fucking tree, let alone her full body.
Yeah.
I was watching and go, that machete's not long enough to go all the way through the tree and then through her.
Yeah.
So I always laugh when I think about that, but I love that movie.
To be
so
fair, that kill was in his head.
It was in his head. That is true. Do you know what? Then you got to give Jason the bed kill. That bed kill was all time.
Oh yeah.
time.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
so good.
Told me like 30 times and then going, I think he's still breathing. Bed. Like,
Just in
damn,
case.
Like,
Hold him. Mhm.
like all I can picture is the stabs killed him, right? And his soul's leaving his body, and he's just like, "Damn, that's crazy." And then he's watching Jason close. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like,
All right, we get it.
Yeah.
Jason said fatality.
Right?
Fatality.
That's what Freddy put in his head. He thought he was at Mortal Kombat. He was just, I gotta finish.
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
That was vicious. Goodness gracious, Jason. I like Jason just being on your list, and I think 7's reasonable. But when I bring up my favorite all-time Jason kill, it'll explain why I have him where I have him, because that kill was just...
Once you see the full list, you'll make sense why he's
No, I get it.
by the
And like I
bottom.
said, I even understood where you put Chucky. Like it's where you place them makes sense. Like I said, it's just important that they were on there. Is really all I care.
I'm just
Yeah.
excited to see who's higher. Like,
I
who's
told you,
left?
I'm curious. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But Jayla, what's your number 7?
I don't know how many people know of this up and coming, aspiring paranormal serial killer, but Leslie Vernon is my number 7. I watched Behind the Mask on a whim one day, and I just
Oh my
found
God.
it so good. He has a dream to be like Freddy and Jason, and seeing him like put up to these tactics, like he rigs a door to shut when she gets out of there, and like so he's like in one place, and it's like he's like just magically moving to another place, and like all of these like different concepts that we see in horror movies, but seeing from like the other side. And he's just a dude trying to start a career. It was really interesting. If you haven't seen Behind the Mask, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I highly recommend you check it out. It's a very fresh take on our paranormal killers. They even mention Elm Street and Jason. And
I'm pretty sure in that movie, all those guys are like canon in that universe.
Yeah,
like,
they're
right?
all real, and he just
Yeah.
wants it's a career that he also wants to follow the path in.
What was your 7 again?
Mine?
Yeah, what?
His name
repeat.
is Leslie Vernon. Behind
Leslie-
the Mask is the
I've heard
movie.
that before.
Mhm.
I have
I
not
heard of that
seen that. I'm
before.
Such an
looking it up
underrated
now.
movie.
It's a very underrated movie, and I love it. I won't say too much about it because there's some things that happened that completely surprised me going in blind, but I highly recommend you check it out.
All right, sure. All right, so let's move to number 6. Number 6, I got Ghostface. He did make the top 6. Again, You said which one?
Yeah.
For me, I just meant Ghostface as a whole.
Oh, the character. Okay.
Yeah, as a whole. If you wanted to break it up, no problem, because it can be broken up. They're not all the same. It's just, to me, the identity, who they're trying to be, is all the same. So I just made it all into one. But if I had to pick, it'd be Billy. It'd 100% be Billy. It'd be the OG, 100%. But yeah, no. Look, this was how Drew Barrymore died was hilarious. I don't think that ever scared me. It was just the funniest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when her parents are like right there and don't even see it. It's just so much about that opening. It's peak. It's just peak storytelling, really. I loved everything about it. I even loved that. What's her name from? I don't want to say Twilight, but what's her name? What's her name from Twilight?
Kristen Stewart?
Yes. She was saying she was actually they actually were asking her to recreate not the exact scene, but to do a cold opening for I think Scream 5. Was it Scream 5 or 4?
4.
4. And she was like, no way anyone top what Drew Barrymore did. No, thank you. Like, it's impossible. But Scream 4 did have a great cold open of the numerous
fake outs.
Yeah, the fake outs. I enjoyed that thoroughly for sure.
Hot take. I love the alternate opening to 4. If you haven't got a chance to check it out, I like it even more than the one that we got.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen that.
There is an alternate opening. I'll have to link you guys to it.
Okay, please do, so we can talk about that, because I definitely had no idea.
I enjoy that. Okay.
I very much would enjoy that, because I enjoyed what I got. So I'm like, if there's something better, hell yeah.
I really like it.
And look, we're talking about cold openings, and somewhere Jenny is like, fuck all of y'all. Like, mine was the worst. And it's like, yeah, yours was pretty bad. Like, I don't know, Drew Barrymore's was like, yikes. But what Jenny went through was like, god damn.
Yeah.
That was just like, yikes. That's a bad night for someone. But yeah, Ghostface makes it on there for me. I think he is one of the most iconic, obviously enough to put him at my number 6 spot. So I do think the world of him. And look, he changed prank calling for a long time. He really did. No answering machine or caller ID to see who was calling. You would answer it every time someone called because you didn't know who it was, and then 9 times out of 10 they were calling to recreate Ghostface. Like,
yeah,
they really were. And Did, you'll definitely appreciate this. The main reason why Ghostface is so high is because Ghostface, out of everybody on this list, is the coldest rapper out of any serial killer on anyone's list.
That's
I slash, I dash, I cut a hole in you. Come on, man. He was. Come on, that's iconic.
I was going through every line in my head.
Like, isn't it iconic, bro? That's iconic.
That is. That's.
And you know what else Ghostface gave us? What's up?
Oh my god!
Come on!
The scary movie.
He's iconic. He deserves to be up there on that list. I'm glad I have him at number 6. Jayla, I'm gonna kick it back to you. What's your number 6?
Candyman.
Ooh.
The lore, funny story. My mom is terrified of Candyman, so of course I use every opportunity to say it 3 times and freak her out.
Oh my god!
It's the lore, the mythos, the kind of, you know, when we were kids in school, no one says Candyman 3 times. I love that. I love that kind of stuff.
Second time.
I love how that sticks with you. And how it kind of sticks in the back of your head, like, you know, it's not real, but I don't want to say it that 3rd time just in case. Obviously his backstory as well. Yeah, no, absolutely iconic. No, I can't say much more about him.
Yeah, look, there were 2 things I never tolerated around me: Bloody Mary and Candyman. I didn't care. Everyone in school could say it's fake. Who cares? Just say it. Not around me. Not around me. I've seen horror movies enough to know that the black person just gets it by proxy. No way in hell.
Yeah.
Around me. Like I could just picture Candyman showing up and going, "You said it too, didn't you?" I didn't say a word. Nah, I get killed. No way. No way. Would you say, Trayvon?
That was your 4th time saying it today. Yeah, keep going.
No, it has to be in a row. They don't just mean like you have to be.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yes.
I don't even play those games.
No,
It didn't hear the words in between. No, I heard it 3 times. I'm asking now.
No, Didge, because you picture Candyman at the end of every month, like, no, I told her that. You said it 65 times. I had to come kill you.
Right.
Like, I thought I had to be in a row.
I got it written down.
Yeah. Yeah, like I could even picture him like holding you to something like, yo, I could go for some candy, man. And it's like, whoa, you said it. And it's like, no, I meant like I wanted candy.
It's been a slow month. Come on.
I'm only laughing because I'm picturing like if he were real, he took what Trayvon said serious, and he's just waiting for me to say it one more time. Like, I'm waiting. Go ahead now. It's like, I like Candyman being at your number 6, Jayla. It definitely was something that was just like, I don't know, man. I don't even remember the Bloody Mary story, and I just knew I didn't want to say it. I just didn't want to. Wasn't it like if you said it, someone would appear in a mirror with like bloody eyes or something?
You have to say it in the mirror, and she'll with the lights off, and she'll pop up.
Yeah, no way in hell. No.
No way in hell.
A little fun. Make a friend. Yeah, there's a Bloody Mary movie.
Was it good?
I'd be shocked if it wasn't.
Was it good? You're like, was it good?
Because I kind of felt like Bloody Mary was like one of those.
You haven't seen Candyman?
People have like stayed far away from.
I like how you tried to sneak
Bloody
that in.
Mary. There's a movie called Urban Legends, I believe she's also.
Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, like when you were saying it before about school stuff. Yeah, I remember like all that. Like I remember there used to be someone used to just try to scare everyone about that, and like there was a thing because like there's a carving in like the tree by my elementary school, and someone was like, "Oh, it's someone who like." Yeah, it was Bloody Mary, and I remember it scared everybody, and I was so scared, like it was crazy.
There's a couple of them. There was a Bloody Mary movie that came out last year.
There just has
was there?
That's been good enough for people to talk about, I guess.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm asking. Well, look, I
don't remember it. Then there's your answer.
To be honest with you, I originally wasn't going to have. I'm sorry. Would you say, Trevor?
I said, imagine we're talking to our reflections.
I originally wasn't gonna have Leprechaun on my list. I was originally gonna have Slender Man, but that movie was so god awful. The actual story of Slender Man scares me more than the movie did.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, I can't justify putting him on.
Never actually saw the Slender Man movie.
No.
Ooh, okay. Slender Man scares me, but like the movie. Like it still scared me, but the movie like execution was not good.
You mean
it was
like
not
Walmart
good.
Venom?
Yeah.
The movie made it seem like if I didn't know the actual story that happened to that girl, I swear I would never take the Slender Man seriously after seeing that movie. But
like if it wasn't like already like such a
documentary.
If it wasn't such an internet like phenomenon and everything, like and knowing like the legend behind it already. Like you would not be scared.
If you guys want some good Slender Man content, look up the Marble Hornets.
No, Jay. I'm sorry, you misunderstood me. No. I don't want to know anything else about it.
It's a good.
Yeah, he scares me.
It replaces the movie. It scratches the itch. It's all on YouTube. It's terrifying.
You know what's crazy? I wasn't even itchy. Like it's okay.
I'm scared. I'm already scared thinking about it.
Okay.
Well, what was interesting with that movie was it didn't even come out in the area because like I live in Milwaukee, so because of that, the stabbing, it didn't come out in the theaters nearby us.
Right.
Oh, wow.
It shouldn't. First of all, I remember saying to myself, she survived that ordeal. Picture her, right? Like therapy's gone good, you're just getting over it, and then it's just like movie reminder, and you're like, what the?
Yeah, that's crazy. They shouldn't have done that.
And look, bro, she had to suffer it back to back, the movie and the documentary for 8 years. Oh,
God bless you.
Came out, I think, a year apart, like a year.
Oh my God! Okay. I know of that case, but like I literally wasn't even thinking about that until like someone like brought it up. I was like, oh my God, that's right.
And the girl who stabbed her got out of prison last year or the year before.
Yeah, it was huge around. I remember that.
That's so crazy, man.
So huge.
Yeah, look, again, we're moving on, but shout out to that biker that found her. Shout out to you, man.
Yes.
Shout out to you. Shout out.
You a hero. Not all heroes wear capes.
Exactly. All the love in the world to that biker, man, because she deserved to live out the rest of her life for sure. But all right, so Jayla, you just went. Your number 6 was
Candyman.
We got so shy away from it. We're like,
How many times are we up to?
Blake, you go. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is Bruce, the shark from Jaws.
Ooh. Ooh.
And I had to look up the term because I love sharks. It's not necessarily the shark that scares me. And everyone makes fun of Jaws because they say the shark looks so fake. And that's why it scares me. And there's a term for it. I looked it up. It's submechanophobia. It's like objects that are submerged underwater. Specifically, some are animatronics underwater is an actual thing. And this, like,
I have that fear.
swimming in my aunt's pool, I wasn't scared of a shark coming to get me. I was scared of that animatronic shark being at the bottom of that pool. It just, that creeps me out. And
yeah, have you ever been to like Universal when they had the ride?
Oh, no,
I love that ride.
I went on it. Oh, I went on it, and I clung on to my mom for dear life. Like, I literally, like, full on, like,
okay,
yeah, like cocoon. I was so scared.
What I love most about that ride is the boat didn't seem secure enough to hold, like any sudden movement. It seemed like someone could go over, and I couldn't swim. So I was fighting two fears at once.
I'm very glad you brought up
drowning.
I'm glad you brought up the Universal ride because looking into that fear, I'm like, am I crazy? Like animatronics underwater? For the Universal ride, it's notorious or was notorious for breaking down all the time. It was a very intuitive ride.
Yep.
There was one case where a man fell overboard and fell into the water. And of course, they're not real sharks, so there was no danger there. But in the specific spot that he fell into the water is all the tracks line up for all of the animatronic sharks. So he's in the middle of that with all 5 of the sharks around him. And that's my literal nightmare.
That's terrifying.
5 animatronic
That's my nightmare. That's literally my nightmare.
God, I'd need therapy. No.
Like, honestly, I thank God every day that did not happen to me because I, like, would not. Nope.
No, I would be like, that's it. I'm going to drown here. I don't even want to get out.
See, like, I already had, like, a fear of sharks from that movie. And then, like, knowing that there was a ride on that, and my mom and, like, my whole family was like, yeah, let's go on this. I was like, no. I was like, no. And then, like, knowing...
I love sharks. That movie didn't ruin sharks for me. It ruined animatronics for me, but...
No, it ruined it. It ruined sharks for me.
It's a great movie, and a shark that goes out of its way to stalk specific people, or I guess that's mostly just Jaws the Revenge, which we're not going to touch on. But the original shark. I love that shark. I want to go to... the museum. There's a museum that actually has that animatronic that they used, or at least one of them. I would love to go see that shark someday, but number 6
the only other shark that I've seen that was just like, all right, I'm gonna kill this individual was Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, that is a very iconic movie moment.
Very personal. Like they took that shit personal. I don't know if they were making if he was making Chris Rock type jokes to these sharks or what was happening. They took that shit very personal. I think that was the only death in that movie that the sharks were just like, no, we're doing this together. Like, not just one of us. We're doing this together. So I think that movie ruined sharks for me. When I saw how he died, I was just like, all right, well, now I know that sharks have personalities. Like now they're just... I'm gonna have fun killing you. Like I know because the biggest myth of sharks is that like they love eating people, but that's not true. They don't like eating people. 9 times out of 10 they spit it out because they think you're a fish. So that's disrespectful. But Deep Blue Sea made it seem like that was like an Olympic sport for them. Like they played like, shit, surfer, bro. Like, yeah, no way in hell. No.
I loved the movie so much. I got the Jaws video game. And I was in love with that game so much.
They got a new shark game.
Yeah, Maneater.
Like more open world. Like you can literally swim the waters.
Maneater is fun.
Yeah. Maneater. Yeah.
Shout out to Feeding Frenzy if anyone played that.
What's it called?
Feeding Frenzy. You don't start off as a shark, but you slowly eat like larger fish until you become a shark. You eat people and stuff.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
I like how that sounds. Jeez.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
But look, I will say Deep Blue Sea ruined me, but what saved me was Finding Nemo. What was it? Finding Nemo, where fish are friends,
not food.
Yeah, they had like a little group therapy session.
Right, I was just like, yeah, I like that. And then Suicide Squad came out with Killer Shark. He seemed pretty nice till
See, yeah, no, I was Finding Nemo was like, okay, sharks are not scary, and then Shark Week, like my brother was like obsessed with Shark Week, and he used to make me watch it with him, and I was like, oh no, okay, I'm scared again. And then Suicide Squad came out, and I was like, okay. Then I was like, they're so cute. And so it's ironic that I'm literally deathly afraid of sharks. Like that. Honestly, it's like the worst, my biggest nightmare. Like, I do not want to get eaten, or like, I'm like so afraid of the ocean, knowing that sharks swim in that ocean. Like, it's bad. Like, it's such a fair.
Sharks aren't my biggest fear in the ocean. My biggest fear is that we don't even know half of what's in that goddamn ocean.
See, yes, but like,
Kraken could be down there. Aquaman, we have no idea what the hell's in the ocean.
See, like, that doesn't scare me because it's like, I don't know, sharks are just like, oh man. Like, they're so scary. I don't like them.
I know, but at least there's a way to avoid the shark, right? Like, there's ways to to avoid a shark. They don't just smell you and grab you. You have to kind of be like in somewhat of their sight or some kind of blood, something. They don't just randomly just jump up and try.
My brother went swimming with sand sharks, and I had like a panic attack because I thought he was gonna get eaten right in front of me, like a full blown panic attack. Like, it was so bad. Like, we were on vacation, and like I literally was like hysterical cry. And I like went to go run in the water because I was like, oh no! I was like, he's not dying in my watch. See, that's how much I love my brother because I'm so scared of sharks. And my brother was like, it's fine, but yeah, like they are so scary to me. Like I used to be scared of pools, like anything that, like, you know, like the little drain part in a pool. I used to think that they'd come up that way. Like, it's crazy. No, like it goes so deep.
If they could do that.
It's so deep. Like, it's bad.
I think my crippling fear is tornadoes. My stepdad,
see, like, that's a valid fear. That's a valid fear.
But my stepdad used to tell me, don't be afraid of tornadoes. They only take cows, right? And that was and I remember when I was hearing on the news, like people died. I'm like, oh, they died like it's like the building collapsed. They're like, no, the tornado killed them. I'm like, they don't take people. And then when I found that out, I was just like, that was like finding out Santa Claus wasn't real. Like, that shit broke me. Like, oh my god, tornadoes could kill people? I thought it was just cows.
Oh no.
But all right, let's move on. And that ruined me. Trayvon, what's your number 6?
I'm sorry.
Number 6? It's Roman from Scream 3. I liked him. I don't know. I liked him. I thought he was another one that I didn't see coming. Like, I didn't. I like the story that they built around her mother and all. Like, just I like how they built that up. Like, him, the pictures and all that. Like, they were like, what? Like, what is this? Like, what is this? It was more of like a mystery. I feel like on that one. Like, it was like, well, what does this have to do with, you know, her mom? Like, what is this? Like, who is this guy? Like, the fact that he was on the phone with the one girl that was inside the studio and she was talking to him, and then he kind of revealed it to her right there, but it's like, but you still didn't believe it. Like, you still didn't believe it. I was like, no, it's just a voice changer. It can't be like the guy that we think it is. Very good. I don't know, man. Like, that was I liked him a lot. I thought, you know, the way they were killing him in like in a specific order. I thought the facts scene where I think the house got blown up, right? I think they were like, oh, don't I gotta see what she said. Well, I wanted to see what the last page. He was like, I'm gonna go see it. He went and lit the thing and blew himself up. I was like, this is great. These kills are different. These kills are different.
No.
So it just, I don't know. And then when I think the one girl that was playing Sydney, I just really thought it was her the whole time. Like, I was like, something wrong with her, man. Like, she not right. I really thought it was her. And the way she was so far away, and they thought it was her. I just really, yeah, he was good.
Look, I'm with you, but that's why
I liked it.
That's why I appreciated Scream 5, because the narrative was different but the same, right? So like the concept was still Sydney, but the reasonings were different, right? So I'm like, okay, I appreciated it just being different in that vein, because I'm like, all right, at some point, if you're Sydney, you're just like, all right, Do I got to kill my bloodline? Like, what's happening here? Like, what do I have to do?
I mean, she got to be ready. Like, she's
right. Like anybody, like at that point, if you're sitting, you're like, all right, now I got to remember anyone that's ever met my mom. Apparently, I got to kill them. Like anyone that's ever seen my mom, you know what I'm saying? They got to go. You know, just from the possibility that they might come back and go, yo, your mom stepped on my shoes one day. I want you dead. And it's like, whoa, hold on, what? Like, what does that got to do with me? It's like the sins of your mother. So I thought that was hilarious. I appreciated Scream 5 just trying to be different. And I'm very excited to see what they do for Scream 6 and then, you know, so on. And like at this point, don't fully reboot Scream. If you can keep it as good as 5 was, just keep going at this point. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going. It's good. You reinvented yourself, but you kind of stayed the same in certain aspects. Just keep going. All right, Didge, what's your number 6?
Candyman. Jayla hit a lot of the points. I to this day I don't think I've said Candyman 3 times. I probably never will.
You can try it.
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And I especially like the latest one. I think it built upon the lore really well.
Right.
So yeah, Candyman. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were upset that it wasn't the OG, but I'm like, again, it's a newer audience. People know Yaya. You know what I'm saying? So it's like back to younger audience. That's it.
I think, like I said, I really do think it built upon the existing lore and gave it a way to continue where you will still be able to pay homage to that. And again, like you said, just have something for a new audience.
Right. That's always important to me. All right, Sabrina, what's your number 6?
Ghostface.
Ghostface?
Mm-hmm.
All right, another one. Just glad that he's on the list.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's so iconic. He's like, you know, when you think of, like, slasher, like, OG, like, slasher icons, he's definitely, like, at the top, you know. But, yeah, no. I wanted to put him higher, but, like I said, once the full list is out, you'll understand why.
That's fair. Look, I mean, because not many killers just use a kitchen knife, right? Like, it's obviously Ghostface, and Michael Myers, and that's why I said, look, as much as I maybe, because again, another hot take, I prefer, oh God, why am I forgetting his name? I prefer Rob Zombie's first Halloween over any other Halloween.
Okay.
Halloween, because I'm very much, I studied the little bit of college I did, psychology. So I'm very interested when you go deep into the mind of these characters. And that's, again, his first one, not his second one. The second one you can throw right in the garbage. That first one I loved. But what I loved about Halloween Kills, I think, is the one that just came out.
Yes.
Is when Michael was trying to find the right knife. And he just kept stabbing the guy with knives till he found the right one and was like, this is the one I'll use to go for other people. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was hilarious. But all right. We're in our top 5 now. My number 5 is none other than Jason Voorhees.
Ooh.
The reason why Jason is in my top 5 is the greatest kill in horror movie history is from Jason X. Killing 2 people with sleeping bags will forever be the greatest kill ever. To just put them in the sleeping bags and just hit it against the tree. It was hilarious. Are you serious? Do you know how creative Jason at that point had to get? He's like, I didn't kill so many people. I've never killed anyone fully zipped up in a sleeping bag. Let me see what that's like. And he doubled down on it. I loved it. Jason is all-time great. I will say the first Friday the 13th movie is absolute garbage. It should not exist. It should be wiped out. We should start further down that bloodline. Having this whole movie exist, and then it's just like, oh, it was his mother.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Jason makes it into my top 5.
Your feelings are valid. We agree.
That sleeping bag kill is all-time great. Jayla, I guess you disagree. You disagree vehemently.
I disagree.
You like the first one?
I mean, like, you have to understand when the first one came out, we didn't have the history of Jason we do now. So the idea of like this, it was a mother getting revenge on the camp counselors that killed her son. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, and you know, Jason has mommy issues, so him coming back to get revenge on his mom and becoming this like, you know, this force is very interesting. I like the idea of her kicking it off personally.
Can I say, just that short synopsis you gave made the first one sound way more interesting than it actually was. So if I could get Jayla to just redo it, starting with that movie to do it better, I could stomach it a lot more.
If anyone wants to find me doing it, please feel free. It's a great twist. It's a great twist.
Yeah, but to be fair, you got to remember, I'm looking at it from the eyes of someone that's seen modern day and then went back, right? Like I wasn't alive when, if I was alive when it came out, I would think totally different. But to look back, and I don't even mean like, oh, it was shot from, you know, the way it was. No, it was just bad in every possible conceivable way. That movie was just bad.
We'll have to do a Friday 13th retrospective.
Yeah, I left that movie very angry. I left that movie so angry. I appreciated the one that came out a few years ago that I thought was horrible. I appreciated that one. That's how bad I think that first one was. I was just like, you know what? You just gotta appreciate the things you have today. You know, like, you know.
All right.
Like, the past isn't always great. This was horrible. I hate it.
So many hot takes today.
Look, I'm full of them. I'm gonna have to fire Adrian every Friday. I might just have to give hot takes from now on. But Didge, what's your number 5?
Ash Williams.
Okay.
I mean, very iconic. I think he could have definitely been higher. Just, I don't know. Everything just got pushed. I started my list like trying to build it from 1, and then everything was just like, all right, is this better than that one? Is this better than that one? And that's sort of where it ended. I think, I feel like somebody's going to have a much better argument than I can have for higher. So I kind of want to leave it to that. But 5 for me was just perfect space.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And look, our comment section is hilarious. Someone just asked, hey, I've been watching Boondocks lately. The stink meter count as a horror icon. And the answer to that is yes. And the reason why the answer to that is yes is because if you've gotten far enough in Boondocks, you know that stink meter began to be able to take over people. And clearly stink meter took over Will Smith last Sunday. So he's very much a horror icon.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so 100%. Yeah, stink meter is a horror icon. You know what? I take Leprechaun off my list and I put stink meter at number 10.
Oh my God.
So I appreciate you for that. Stink meter makes it at number 10. No, but I'm with you, Didge. Yeah, I'm trying to like, because I'm still reeling over what they're saying in the comment section. Like everyone's like, yeah, man, I'm with you. I love Rob Zombie's Halloween, but nothing beats John Carpenter. I'm like, all right.
I mean, they're right.
Not wrong.
Yeah, no, they're right. They're absolutely
They're
right.
right.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
if you say so.
No,
I think you're the only one in this chat, like in this right now, that like thinks that one's better.
Oh,
sorry.
100%. By all means, 100%. And
I'm sorry.
100% okay with that. No need to be sorry.
These hot takes are getting up there.
Look, I love being on this hill and looking left and right and saying that it's just me. It's so comfortable being on this hill alone. I love it.
Listen, if you're confident in that, own up to it.
100%. That's why I say if I could ever talk to Rob Zombie one day, I would tell him like, bro, you have no idea how inspiring that first Halloween movie you did. The second one was garbage. I would have to tell him that. I would have to be honest. Journalistic integrity. But that first one, he was hitting. He was hitting on that first one.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Trying to be so nice about it. You're like, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Even though I disagree completely.
Yeah, I'm starting.
Even though you're wrong,
Kayla be killing me with niceness. I'm starting to learn that. Kayla be like, I'm gonna cut you deep with this nice real quick.
I'm glad you had your moment.
But okay, so I got Jason at 5. What was your 5 again, Didge?
Ash Williams.
Ash Williams, got you. Blake, what's your number 5?
Okay, I have a deep cut. Mine's a video game character. I'm curious to see if any of you or even anybody in the chat knows this. It's Chris Walker from the first Outlast video game.
Oh,
that's
okay.
a good one.
That's a good one. Oh my god, I should have thought.
I didn't think about we could do video game
For-
characters.
I just
For
said horror
anybody-
icons. I didn't say horror movie.
Yeah, next one isn't a movie, but for anyone that doesn't know, Chris Walker was ex-military and was so traumatized by that experience, he was thrown into Massive Asylum, where they would run these experiments on their patients who would later be called variants because they get really disfigured and a little driven more insane. And Chris Walker is special to me for that game because he ripped the flesh off his forehead so he could see more clearly, ripped his nose and his lips off as kind of an anxiety thing. And you can't fight in the Outlast franchise, so this guy just chases you for the entirety of the video game. And if you are unlucky enough to be caught by him, his move is he picks you up with one hand, and with his other hand, he will grab you on the top of your head and rip your head off. And you are
That
done.
game was legit terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And just hearing those loud footsteps come after you and his voice like, I'm coming. Like he's just searching for you because he just wants to kill you. Like that's all he wants. And he's pretty fast for as big as a guy he is. That's my favorite horror game of all time. And he traumatized me from my first playthrough, just trying to sneak by him with those loud footsteps and those chains. He's horrifying.
Well,
I'm getting scared just thinking about it.
I'm never playing that ever.
It's a fun.
I just looked him up. I've never heard of him. Yeah, he's creepy looking.
He
It's
looks
fun,
pretty
but it's
freaky. I
legit
urge you all to look him up.
Nah, I'll never play that. That's okay. All right. Jayla, what do you got at number 5?
Mine can be considered more of a concept, but I went with the Blair Witch. For multiple reasons. First, if we were just focusing on the first movie, the idea of is she even real? There's a theory that it was just a ruse to kill the main girl. I can't think of her name. What went into the original to make everyone believe it was an actual thing before we had, viral marketing. It was kind of the first for that. But the idea, like, I'm still terrified if I'm going in the woods by myself. Are you kidding me? The Blair Witch and the idea of someone always watching you in the woods and kind of having that eerie, you're not alone feeling. Really, there's also plenty of stories with the same idea, but my brain always goes back to Blair Witch, and we still have her hanging around these days with remakes and such. So she made an impact.
Yeah, like I said, how Blake felt about the exorcism is how I feel about the Blair Witch Project. That to me is still one of, if not the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. Like just the concept of it. I think I know a lot of people aren't very high on this movie, but like if we're talking like things that just really fucking terrified me, and we don't give him enough credit. I give Ryan Reynolds a lot of fucking credit for Amityville Horror. He did again, I think we sometimes just kind of put the stigma that he's just comedic, but Buried in Amityville, I give to Ryan. Like if someone was asking,
Buried makes me nauseous.
No, I'm with you on that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't even know how he did it. But
Buried makes me nauseous. Oh my god.
If someone wants something different from Ryan, I would show them those two movies because it shows the range of Ryan's acting. The man does a great fucking job. But all right, so I appreciate that, Jayla, that being your number 5. Now I kind of feel like I fucking should have had that on there. Maybe Spank Me will come out of my list.
I said even after we did this video, they would all switch around. Even after.
And you know what's funny? The first thing I said is, nah, mine's set in stone. I'm not changing. And now
I've went as we've been talking. My list has been like, oh, I done messed up here. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I was so focusing on characters. There's so many things that now are popping in my head. Like, oh man,
the Amityville house could probably take up a slot.
100%. Just
absolutely.
Yes, 100%.
We have to like do a revisit this one day down the line.
Right.
100%.
It'll be totally different next week.
You know what? No. We'll revisit this in Halloween when we
yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Every Sunday in the month of October. We'll revisit it then. Because a whole bunch of stuff will have come out by then. and maybe we might have it changed.
Mhm.
But Sabrina, what's your number 5?
Pennywise.
Okay.
Okay.
But I did not. Okay, so no disrespect to the OG one either. But the newer one is what really like made me love him as a like horror, because it like actually scared me. Like the other one like really just the OG one creeped me out, but this one like actually scared me. That like so bad. Like I remember I saw the trailers and I was like, I don't think I want to see this movie. And then I found out who was playing Pennywise, and I was like, okay, it's not so scary. But like I love the movie. I love that got me more into like Pennywise as a character. I love Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. So yeah, like the fact that they're doing like a prequel to that like makes me like even more excited for all that. And I'm one of those people that does like the second one. There's like It Chapter 2, but what? I'm sorry?
What?
Oh
It Chapter 2 was hot garbage, but
It's not hot garbage.
Or the place to get into that.
It's not hot garbage. Okay,
We
listen.
can get into it, but I don't think you want to.
We're gonna rewatch it together one day, and you're gonna love it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to do a marathon of all one of those movies.
Oh man, you're gonna like it. You're gonna end up liking it.
I sat through it for 3 hours and hated almost every minute of it.
Well, you're gonna like it when we watch it. It's
I
okay.
saw it for free and I wanted my money back.
no! That's rough.
I'm looking
Blake!
forward to the
Going.
show.
Hot
I
takes.
can't
keep
wait for the
going.
show.
Stop! These hot takes are awful. They're killing me.
Hey,
Oh
I
my
gotta balance
God.
out Jay Wong with his hot takes.
Okay. Trayvon, we're just gonna move right by all of that.
We'll circle back.
What is your number 5? Trayvon?
I don't know. I'm starting to feel bad about my list now. I'm just gonna combine. You said 5?
Yeah, what's your number 5?
And I'm just gonna combine 5 and 4 together.
You want me to tip you for number 4?
5 is going to be Richie from Scream 5.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was the
Great
issue?
No, I told you I have a lot of screens on my
I
list.
respect it. I
And a
respect
few
it.
it.
Sauce.
Who doesn't like
It's your
Scream?
list. That's fine. This
Yeah.
is your list. That's fine.
No,
feel
I
bad like
respect
I'm
it.
repeating.
You're
Okay.
fine.
Look, each one of those characters are different than the last. So
Their
it's not-
motivations are different too.
Right,
Their
yeah.
methods
like
of
you're
killing
picking
are
the same
different.
Right. So you're
Yeah.
fine. Go ahead. You're fine.
Yeah, Richie definitely that awesome reveal. I was like, this is awesome. Like it just didn't even, I had a hard time even when at first I was like, wait, but he wasn't there. He was with her outside the town and everything. And I was like, it didn't make sense at first. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, okay. And then when they finally like told us the whole, of course the girl, whatever. But it was more about his reveal for me. It was just really was shocking. I was like, this is
I 100% agree.
poor
with you.
girl. That poor girl. I felt
Look,
so bad for her. I was like, oh
saw-
my god.
I went and watched Scream 5 on Paramount Plus because of Trayvon. Trayvon
Okay.
spoke so highly of it, and I said, yo,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to listen to Trayvon. Let me go watch it. I thanked Trayvon immediately as soon as I was done with that movie. I was like, holy shit, this was great. Like, this is really, really, really good. So I appreciate that. No, that's a great number 5. I don't know why. Don't overthink it, man.
Because I
That was
have
great.
another Ghostface.
That's
That's
fine.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
Trayvon, this is not a historical or factual list. This is your opinion list. You're fine. This is your favorites. All right, so let's move to number 4. Number 4 for me is Freddy Krueger. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. Freddy Krueger only made my list because he has one of the greatest songs ever created in the history of horror films. Are you serious? If I didn't know, I wish Freddy Krueger is how I learned how to count to 10. You know what I'm saying? I wish that's how I learned. Cool. I wanted Freddy to teach me. I would have easily aced kindergarten if that was
Freddy
what I
dropped some lessons if you ever watched Freddy's Nightmares.
There were some lessons in that too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first lesson I learned from Freddy Krueger was that beds are very dangerous. Like, very dangerous.
Shout out to Johnny Depp.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny Depp. But no. Of course, Freddy's the icon. We already know. Blah 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 blah. The knives on the fingers, whatever. The whole don't go to sleep. It's a great concept because it's one of those things that you don't think about, but then when that movie comes on, you're just like, oh shit, I do sleep a lot. Like I never thought about like
he could get me at any time.
Yeah, it could happen at any time, right? So then you start going, maybe I don't want to go to sleep, but then your body's like, oh no, you're going to sleep. Like I don't care what you going to sleep.
Whether or not Freddy gets you is up to you.
Yeah, whether or not he gets you, that's up to whether or not you believe it. But you're going to sleep. But no, the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6. Like I just, you know what? Yes, grab your crucifix. And you know where it was the scariest? I didn't really freak out to that theme song till the little girl was singing it. Ready for Jason. And she goes up to her and she's like, are you okay? And she has no fucking eyes. Like her eyes are gone. Oh, that was just so great.
Tell everybody Freddy's coming back.
Yes, I loved it. Yo, my 2 favorite kills in that were that. I mean, not kills, but 2 favorite like pop-up things was that. And then when Freddy goes to Kelly, I got your nose, and it just rips her nose.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I fucking love that movie. But yeah, so Freddy's my number 4. Well deserved. Glad he's I'm very thankful for that song. Beautiful song. All right, Blake, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a comic book character to cap off kind of my list because my top 3 is a little basic. But number 4, I have Negan from The Walking Dead. I debated putting him on this list, but I'm like, oh, he's a horror icon. It's a horror comic book. He's on a horror TV show. I'm going to put Negan because he's, to me, I mean, I always loved the villains, and he's just one of the most evil human beings that you could come across in a comic book. And when it takes place in like an apocalypse, like a world dominated by monsters, and one of the biggest threats you could ever come across is just a mortal man, freaks me out. Like someone gets so power hungry in a world without laws, he just wraps a baseball bat and barbed wire, and it's just like, someone, all right, you. And just, you could lose a family member like that in the most brutal way imaginable. I've always seen the question, like, what's a fictional death that's hit you the most? It is Glenn from the TV show. The next day at school, I felt like I lost a family member. It was all overcast. I saw my friend who watched the episode with me, and he's like, how are you doing? I'm like, not good, man. It was rough last night. And like, just a fictional character to have so much power over like a viewer, like reading the comic or watching the show. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. After that episode, I was like, okay, he's in charge of me, and he can't even talk to me. Like, all right, you are in control. So yeah, I easily Negan. I wish I could put him higher, but the other 3 are too iconic.
Yeah, Negan for me, because I remember watching that, right? Like I somewhat kept up with Walking Dead. When I heard he was in it, I'm like, I do love him, so I'm gonna check in. And I remember watching, like, when he first hit him, I'm like, all right, bro, we've seen this. It's national TV. He's going to just hit him. It'll be off camera. Let's just get past this. When he hit him the first time, and then he kept hitting him, and then his head came up with that iconic eye out of his eye, I said, oh, damn. Like,
or to make it worse, when he talks to Maggie,
yeah, that wasn't in the comic, and I'm so glad they put that in the show.
Oh man, that just like made it worse. Like, it's one thing of that, but like when he just talks to Maggie,
Yeah.
Like I remember watching it, and my dad like came in the room, and I was like trying not to cry, and I was just sitting there in shock. And my dad's like, "What the hell is?" Because my dad never watched the show, but he like saw the commercial for like he's like, "All I know is the guy with the baseball bat. Did that episode happen yet?" And I was like, "No, it happens tonight." And then he came in the room when it was like as he hit Glenn, and I was just sitting there like, my dad's like trying to talk to me, and I'm like just blank because I'm like over this entire scene, it was crazy.
In the show, they're trying to go through his redemption arc, and every time I'm kind of like, okay, maybe you're changing. I just think to him laughing at the fact that that poor woman's husband is struggling to speak, and he's just like, I did say it, no exceptions, cracking jokes.
And look, you know what hurt me the most, Blake, was I remember saying, like, I thought Glenn was dead when he fell into that pit of zombies.
Oh, yeah.
No, I knew he survived. I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, Glenn's dead there. So I'm like, all right, he survived that. It still racks my brain how the fuck he survived it, but he survived it, right? No problem. Let's move on.
I went through like an analysis about that with like a classmate because they did not believe it, and I was like, no, he's still alive. I was like, you're gonna find out next week, and he like crawled out underneath, and I was like, I knew it. I was like, I knew it. I was like, I knew he was still alive.
It's still shocking to me, but I remember saying, like, all right, the guy that survived a pile of zombies isn't gonna die from a fucking bat. And I believe that right up until he was just like super dead.
Well, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's like the crazy thing about the show is like they'll go through like something crazy and you're like, how do they survive that? And then it's like something basic.
Yeah, something super
Oh,
bad.
Carl.
That was the point. It was just
Carl.
an unfair death.
Sorry.
Like him.
We know Carl bothers you, Sabrina. That Carl.
Sorry, I'm just saying, my boy got his eye shot out, should have died from that, and survived that. And getting shot as a kid, and he gets bit by a walker on his side. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding?
There, as a writer, you have to say to yourself, all right, you didn't die from this bullet. We can't go extreme for you to die. The bullet in the eye was the extreme, so...
I'm just saying, like, at least give him a better death than that.
Yeah.
All right, so Blake, you got Negan. Jayla, you had Blair Witch, right?
For number 4?
Oh, wait, you didn't go for 4. That was your 5, right?
That was my 5.
Okay, so I went 4 Freddy, and then I went Blake, and then you went,
Yeah.
okay, Negan. So, I was going to say Sabrina. Jayla, you go for your number 4.
I have a newbie for my number 4. He invokes the same feeling as the early 2000s with new concepts, and it is Gabriel from Malignant.
Yeah.
He just is already a standout for me. It's amazing. The concept is new and fresh. It's insane, but you still love it. It feels like there's this own identity that is completely detached from everything else we have going on right now. And I love that about him. And I hope we get a sequel and see more. So Gabriel is my number 4.
You know,
Very good
I
pick.
love that because you know, Jayla, and again, I tell you guys I'm honest all the time. It took me to the last 25 minutes to go, what? Like, okay, where are they going with this? I'm like, all right, Malignant, something in her head. And I'm like, oh shit, malignant tumor is a real thing. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm like, James, you're a fucking genius.
That scene where he's like coming out of her head and she's like going
that
backwards.
prison scene. Now
The
look,
prison scene was
when
oh
I
my
talk
god.
when I talk about a suspending belief, I suspended all belief when Gabriel went full Superman in that jail cell. It was just
Dog,
like
that prison scene was wow.
I
love
love to talk about
Gabriel
that movie.
Gabriel was just like, all right, death for you, death for you, death for you, and death for you. Look, and then when he got out of the cell, I hold, because as far as like just balls out crazy scenes, I hold that that police station, like when he breaks out of the cell and is fighting the cops, I put that right up there with Nightcrawler, the opening of Exorcist. I put it right up there. It was the most creative way to go about
God.
doing
It was
and
so
it was just like, what the fuck? Like,
and it just kept going too. I also love how, when like retrospectively, the next time you watch it, him being literally backwards because it's the back of her head makes so much sense. It's great.
Look,
thank you, James Wan.
I always say, look, I can never put James Wan too high because Wes Craven will forever hold that spot for me. But I swear to God, James Wan is like 1B because he's the only director I know that could just be so different from one movie to the next. Nothing feels like, bro, didn't you just do this? Like I remember watching Insidious and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And then you see
he did Dead Silence too.
Yes, Dead Silence. I love that. Was the last part of that movie when they went shh and then like grabs like
I'm pretty sure because like, you couldn't scream or else she'll take your tongue.
Right. James Wan, can I just say I love, and then can we give him credit? You do all these horror movies and you're like, all right, this dude can't do anything like anything else. And he fucking just drops Aquaman on your lap. Whether you
I know, I freaking love Aquaman.
Aquaman on your lap, and it's just like, bro, what the fuck can't you do? It's
no,
like,
but I think the best part about that is that he still had horror elements that you could tell.
Exactly, yes.
In that movie, whereas like, and they're done so perfect.
And I'd still call it underrated. Like nobody
100%.
ever
And
talks about it.
You know what's funny, Blake? I always compare it because it's like, all right, Martin Scorsese can only do these gangster movies. That's all he can do. And then he drops you Hugo, and you're like,
yeah.
Like, how the fuck did how did you do that? Like,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then you see the thriller with Leonardo DiCaprio that everyone always sleeps with, Shutter Island.
Oh my god.
Yes.
There's nothing Martin Scorsese, if he really wanted to, can't do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I fucking love James Wan for that. Jayla, when you mentioned Gabriel, when you were originally talking about your list, first thing I said was, oh, yeah, I'm right with you, Jayla. I remember leaving that movie like, yo, I fucking loved it.
It's amazing. It feels like a icon we've always had, a story that's already iconic, and we just got it. So I had to.
And the first thing I said when it ended was part 2. I know James Wan is very against him specifically doing part 2, part 3, but I said I need a sequel. I need it.
Yeah.
I need it. Now, whether you want to go crazy, where there's a whole nother personality that pops out the front of her head, I don't care what you do. Give me more of what you gave me in that. I need more of that. But okay, so Jayla, you went Gabriel for number 4. Blake, you went Negan. Didge, what's your number 4?
Chucky.
Okay.
Chucky would have been a lot lower on my list if the series hadn't come out, but the series sort of skyrocketed. I think that took all of the bad Chucky movies and they sort of tried to make them make sense. And I think I don't know. I like how the series sort of took Chucky as a character and really brought everything together. And the intention of doing that just made it way more iconic in my eyes.
Yeah. No, I look, I'm 100% like I said, the series was a good blend of old and new. And I could stomach that more than any of the new. I can stomach
like I said, if the series wouldn't have come out, because like you said, a lot of those movies were just bad. But the series was, and I don't know if it was the just coming off of those, like that's the last we had saw of Chucky beforehand. I'm not even talking about the reboot. I don't the reboot Chucky.
We have to give the reboot a slight amount of credit only because we always have to support anything Aubrey Plaza and Mark Hamill. Anything
that's fair.
When that remake was announced and that they said it would be a new Chucky, new voice, and I'm like, nobody can come near to what Brad Dourif did. No one will be as good. Then they announced it's Mark Hamill, and I'm like, okay, there's one person. There's
one person that I could put up there. I mean, because look, Mark Hamill always breaks the mold, right? Like when we go greatest Jokers ever, what's the first thing people jump to do? Oh, Mark Hamill. And it's like, no, live action. They're like,
yeah.
Can I just...
No, it's still Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
He voiced Joker in live action. Everybody forgets that.
He did voice Joker live action. That is true.
Birds of Prey, the TV show, not the movie.
Yep. That is true. That is true. So, I mean, look, he breaks the mold. That's why I say, regardless of how horrible that movie was, conceptually, script, everything. Aubrey Plaza, I will forever give her my support, and Mark Hamill will always get my support. So
that's fair.
Support those two things. And
that's
I'm sorry,
fair.
No, what's his name from Atlanta? Brian.
Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah.
He always gets my love too. So those 3 people. But the movie itself,
God, he was in that.
I did too, to be honest. I didn't the remake, like I said, I'll give them my support. The movie itself.
Hi,
the movie itself, no. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think because that was sort of the last we had saw, and then the series, and it was like, oh man, this is a breath of fresh air. And I really like the series, so that's what made him jump on my list.
Yeah, but when you do season 2, that boy's got to go. The lead, that boy.
You're not a fan?
His facial expressions is just like, bro, what? Like, he looks confused every time someone talks to him. Like, hey, you hungry? Huh? It's like, what confused you of that question? Like, what?
Am I?
Don't be mean to Jake.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, come on. He has to go. New kids, new people, new town. Just move on. No.
New people, new town.
New people, new town, new concept. Just, he has to go. I was saying just really quickly to your Chucky point. I was saying that it hurt me, Didge, that we didn't see. Like, remember when the principal died, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I had always said what I would have loved for them to do is that her death was a mystery. So remember at the end where Chucky was going through all the deaths, like all the people he killed? I would have loved it if Chucky said, and there's just one death I couldn't put my finger on that wasn't me. The principal. I never killed the principal. And then like you get a flash of like one of his kids, and it's like, oh shit, like one of the kids is like they're here.
That would have been interesting.
That's what I would have fucking loved that.
Ooh.
Like that would have been epic. But I'm like, for Chucky to kill literally everybody, I'm like, I get it, but it would have been really cool to add.
That would have been an interesting way to swing more in. Yeah,
100%. But I look in season 2. I hope we get his kids. Even though that's one of the things I hated from the newer movies, I still want you to expand the family if they agree.
Yeah, no, like they definitely like mentioned them. It's just like
Yeah. When he was
so like
telling-
they're definitely gonna come.
Yeah, he mentioned him when he was telling when Jake was saying that he was gay, and Chucky was like, "Oh, I don't care about that. Like my son was gay." And he was like, "Oh, I thought you would have been against it." He's like, "No, not at all." Like
He's like, I'm not a monster.
yeah, he's like, "I'm not a monster."
That was like the best line.
I love that so much because you would think like, "Oh, Chucky's against everything like that," and Chucky's like, "No, I don't mind. It's okay. I'm okay with it." All right.
That don't bother me.
Yeah, he's like, "That don't bother me. Other things bother me, not that." All right, so we got Chucky, Gabriel, Negan, Freddy, Trayvon. Where are you going with for number 4?
It's Ghostface on the first one.
What's his name?
Billy.
Billy.
But
Billy
also
Loomis.
Stu.
Thank
But
you.
also-
Everyone
but
forgets
also
Stu.
I do forget
What?
Billy Loomis. Come on.
Yeah, those two
Also-
are the best ones.
Give me one second. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Fine.
Go ahead, Trayvon.
Oh yeah, the way that Stu kind of lost it when Billy stabbed him. He was like, "You stabbed me, man!" Like,
Oh yeah,
it was just so.
I love Matthew Lillard so much.
Love that. I was like, "This is great!" Like,
Oh yeah, the two of them were perfect.
yeah, it was just so fun. I was like, "This is."
Wasn't he saying something along the lines of like, "You got to make it look real"? And he's
Yeah,
like, but that shit
Pig's
hurt.
blood.
Like,
Yeah,
Carrie.
exactly. Yeah, like he was not expecting that. He was like, "Wait, man, like you guys trying to kill me? What's going on?" Like,
He's like, oh man. He's like, don't stab me that much. He's like, you gotta make it look believable.
yeah.
It was so good. Like that whole exchange was so funny.
Yeah,
like
it
it had no reason to be funny, but it was so funny.
I'm with you. I'm with you there, Trayvon. Billy and Stu definitely get
Their whole reveal of, like you said about him, getting stabbed, and then him just like catch up.
right.
Or at least-
Yeah,
I
he
was
was
like-
It's Pig's Blood and Carrie.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Woo,
Pig's blood.
Okay, all right, yeah." So, yeah, that was. Good.
I was very thrown off by that. I can't even lie to you. I was thrown off for sure by that. Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's a great number 4. Sabrina, what do you got for number 4?
Okay, so I wish this one was like it was very hard to put at 4 because like 3, this was like the one I kept changing the most because I was like, ooh, I like this one, and like it's so hard because I want this one to be even higher, but like the ones that like basically when you said that I could do like any icons, it doesn't have to be like in a movie. That's kind of why these also made on my list. So like that's why this one's specifically a little bit lower than I would like it to be. But it's the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, nice.
I love those movies with all of my heart. Like that movie actually scared me. That's my favorite horror movie, like of all time. The first and the second one, specifically, like the first one's like even more scarier because like for most of the movie you don't see it until like the very end, and like that's where it's like even scarier, and like especially with like gouging out Justin Long's character's eyes at the end.
Yeah, I supported that first movie because I'm a massive Justin Long fan.
Yeah, no, he literally is like one of my favorite. Like, yeah, I was so upset that he didn't like survive because like, oh man, he was so good in the movie. But the second one gets me even more because I remember as a kid, the scene when he's on the bus and he like licks it, that scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like I was like, all right, yeah, not only is he like terrified looking, but like he's so scary. Because he was like, like an internet, like, like I guess like considered like an intergalactic like demon type thing. Kind of like Pennywise that like comes every like certain time during like the year. But yeah, no, I know the movies are, controversial because the director, but I love those movies just because of like the character itself and like that was like actually like a terrifying, and I feel like it's very underrated. Those movies are very underrated. The character itself is very underrated, and like I think it just deserves more love and appreciation.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I love Jeepers Creepers too, and that's another character with a great song.
Jeepers Creepers.
All right, so moving on to number three. Number three for me, shout out to Jayla, goes to none other than Gabriel. Gabriel made it into my top three.
Oh.
Two scenes is what made Gabriel number three for me. The first one is when we first get the reveal of like Gabriel kind of coming out of the back of her head in that jail scene. And then the second one was when, and this one I'm just like, James Wan is just like fucking God tier. When you get to the end of the movie and you're like, damn, Gabriel killed everybody. Like, God damn, but that's a great way to end a horror movie. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, that's in his head. Like, he's just imagining that that's what happened because he's no longer in control. I'm like, James Wan, you freaking brilliant mastermind. You just like, you don't deserve to be that brilliant. How dare you? Share it with people. But yeah, those two scenes there were just like, oh, that's iconic, bro. Like, that's really iconic right there. That's a mind twister for you. I love that movie wholeheartedly. Like I said before, I need that sequel. Give me the sequel. Give me the sequel. You can move Gabriel down. He can come out of her chest alien style. Whatever you want to do, just give me a sequel so we can hurry up and get more Gabriel. That's it. That's all I want. And then just small things, Jayla, really stood out to me when it's like, man, like she couldn't have the baby, and we were just like, dang, like what keeps happening? Is it the boyfriend because he's violent? And then when you find out how, it's like, oh damn, like that's crazy.
Also, the boyfriend kind of woke up Gabriel because he slammed her head against the wall, which is another thing that was really fun to pick up on.
Which is apropos that he was the first one to die.
Deserved.
As soon as Gabriel woke up, he was just like, I don't know why, but I know I don't like you, so you're gonna die first. It's like, okay. So yeah, Gabriel's number three for me. Didge, who's number three for you?
My number three is just literally zombies as a concept.
Okay.
Damn.
Because zombies as a concept in horror have taken over video games. There are amazing zombie video games. TV, you got The Walking Dead. Even if you're looking at like the foreign TV shows, like All of Us Are Dead. And then movies, obviously we know all of the different zombie movies. That as a concept in horror has overtaken basically any medium. Like I didn't even get into comics or books, but everywhere you go and you're looking for something scary, there is a zombie tale that's like, this is really good, and it is legit terrifying. So I think it has to be, you couldn't just pick one. You got to just sort of go as the concept.
Yeah, I think I would go my top two favorite all time. Like I could just watch them a million times over. Would be Zombieland, the first one.
Favorite.
Zombieland and World War Z. Those two movies.
Zombieland was my favorite zombie movie.
Yeah, they always speak to me. Always. Because I always tell people, because they always go, oh, Zombieland's just a comedy. Like, it's not scary. There's a few pop-up scenes that'll get you ass in that movie. Like, oh, I didn't even see that coming. And it does have some heart to it also. When you find out what actually happened to, what's his name's son.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
It got me already when it was the dog.
Even the second one with Double Tap. Oh, so good.
Yeah,
it was so worth the wait.
Double Tap was one of those that I'm like, kind of feel like conceptually you could have done if you did it earlier. You waiting as long as you did is what kind of fizzled it a little bit. It's like when you're afraid when you open your soda that like it'll explode, so like you kind of halfway open it and then you forget, and now it's kind of like diluted and you're like, shit. like damn, I knew I left it open too long.
I totally get what you mean, but like I definitely like waited so long for that. I just didn't care because I was like, I just want to see the second one.
I completely understand that. Seeing those group of actors get together again is always good, no matter how good or
like
bad.
I wish we get a third one, but we probably won't.
Well, I mean, the director said you never know. He said you never know. He
I
didn't
need it.
come out and say like there's no way that we'll ever do it. And the cast said that they would love to work together again. So who knows? Again,
I need it.
Southland to me is one of those cult classics, right? The first one. So I think in the world we live in today, where you sneeze and then other people are just like, you know what? I sneeze too. Let's make it happen. That movie could come back for a third movie at any point between now and 5 years from now. So
right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hell, who knows? It could become a series for a streaming service.
I was just thinking that.
It could.
Ooh, that'd be even good too.
It could live in any medium. It could live.
I hope so. Honestly, I think I'd take anything.
Yeah. I would even like, let's say, and I don't mean to put it on him, but let's say like Jesse Eisenberg's like, you know what? Like, I don't want to do anymore. We were good for the two. I would even like if we get an origin of what's his name, Woody Harrelson's character.
Tallahassee.
Yeah,
Tallahassee.
Origin of that.
I want Columbus though. Those two are my favorite.
You know, I'm with you, and I didn't mean to call out Jesse. He hasn't said anything at all. That was the name that popped in my head. But I would love origins of when it first broke out, what Tallahassee, had to go through when it first happened, actually seeing the events happen leading up to when he first meets Columbus.
That'd be rough.
Yeah, it would be rough, but wouldn't that be a good story to tell?
I would like to see all of their origins though, if you're saying that. Like I'd want to see Columbus, all of them.
Columbus's origin story. That was literally the first movie. That was his origin. It happened when he was on a date. Is when it first popped up for him.
Oh yeah.
Amber Heard. Remember, he had to kill her with the toilet seat.
Yeah, that's true.
So we kind of got his. It's just everybody else's was through dialogue. We didn't physically get to see. Okay, so you went zombies for number 3, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Blake? Did you go
For number 3?
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay, what's your number 3?
Number 3, I have the man on my shirt, Michael Myers. He's like the boogeyman. I'm surprised I'm actually the first person to mention him, unless everybody else has him higher. I'm not sure.
I have him higher.
Yeah, that's probably why. I love Michael Myers. I think what makes him fascinating and sets him apart from a lot of the other classic killers is something that kind of goes overlooked in sequels, and especially in Rob Zombies. I like that movie too, so I'm with you, Javon, but what a lot of people forget is Michael Myers doesn't really understand killing or what death is. I mean, like killing for sure, but that's just like, it's a trope when killers like move their head to the side, like kind of a freaky thing. But Michael does it because when he kills someone and they stop moving, he's just like, why'd you stop moving? Like, I just stabbed you. What was the thing? And that's what makes him interesting to me, is the psychology behind who Michael is. So as a kid, he snapped and he's like, stab. Oh, they stopped moving. I wonder what that means. I don't know. Maybe I'll find out someday.
Right.
And I like that he's gotten more brutal as time went on. I'm one of the people in the minority that really likes Halloween Kills. I know people are mean to that movie.
We loved it. Yeah, it was so good when we saw it.
Aside from the Rob Zombie movies, that was like the most brutal that like the original Michael Myers has been, and I love seeing that from him. He's more than human, and I'm glad these new movies are really leaning into that, leaving the cult stuff to the side. Hopefully we don't get too many answers, but they're just like, he's more than human. We're going to leave it at that.
I mean, look, Halloween Kills was great for me, because heading into that movie, I only asked for one thing. Only thing I ever asked for in that movie was, I need Michael to have a John Wick moment, right? Like where he just goes fucking ballistic, right? And I never thought I would get it. When they all started whooping his ass and then he gets up and goes full John Wick, I said, oh, yeah, we got it. Beautiful. That to me is cinema. That to me deserved an Oscar. That was beautiful. That really was beautiful. Just full John Wick mode. Yep. I loved it. And shout out to that boy that disproved something I thought was true. I thought Ballister would was some of the weakest wood. Because you would watch movies, people get thrown through it. He got killed with the banister and it didn't break. And I was just like, God damn, that's some strong wood. That must be Groot. That must have been made out of the same material as Groot. Because you would think his head would damage it something. Not enough. So that was pretty crazy. But yeah, Halloween Kills to me, I enjoyed purely off of getting my John Wick Michael Myers moment. And that
was good. I went for the kills and the gruesomeness of it, and I got it. So many reviews were like, it's too bloody and Michael's too brutal, and I'm like,
that's what we want.
Exactly what I went for.
That's the whole point. No, I think the funniest scene for me, Blake, was when he was walking and the lady just walked in her house and he walked into the shed, sees a knife, just grabs it, walks in and kills her. Like literally nothing. Mm-hmm. There was no reason to kill this poor woman. He was just like, oh, knife, great. Oh, lady, great. Even better. Kill, done. All right,
exactly. Like it's like, all laid out there for him.
That was the funniest thing ever, man. And that little boy, that kid has a fucking career on his hands. He is hilarious.
Yeah. Also the flashbacks for Halloween Kills with the classic mask.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of that and how they
that was perfect. I loved that.
Wild.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, so we got zombies, Gabriel, and Michael Myers. Jayla, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is I don't know if anyone would put this one on their list, especially this high, but in theory, they are the reason we've gotten all these amazing horror icons, and it's the facility in Cabin in the Woods. The guys that are behind the curtain that are pulling all the strings, that are causing all of these to stop from ancient gods from killing us all. I don't know. There's something about it. The how mundane it was for them, and how they had these little tricks and things to cause all of our favorite horror movie tropes. I love it. I love watching a horror movie and kind of in the back of my head thinking, oh yeah, those guys are back at it again. I love the movie so much. So the facility in Cabin in the Woods has really been a big deal for me because I love that movie.
I loved it. And you know what? You know who I thought had an interesting concept on that, but maybe it wasn't delivered all the best? Like literally no one ever talks about this movie. It's James Wan's horror movie he did of everyone in the workplace.
Oh, it's Belko Experiment, yes. Right? Did James Wan do that?
No. Was it the Belko Experiment?
There was Belko Experiment. There was Mayhem.
Did I say James Wan or James Gunn? I meant James Gunn.
James.
You said James Wan.
James Wan.
James Gunn did it. Sorry, James Gunn did it.
James Gunn did.
And it was. Let me see. Yep, the Belko Experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I love that. I love that movie a lot. Oh wait, no, he didn't direct it. Tyler, Greg.
He might have.
He produced it. He produced it. It was the same thing as Brightburn. Same thing.
Belko was fun.
To be specific, James Gunn again is who produced it, not James Wan. James Gunn produced it along with Brightburn. Damn, James Gunn. I was ready to give you so much credit. But yeah, the Belko Experiment I enjoyed a lot. I thought maybe towards the end it fell a little bit on.
To be fair, he did also help write on it.
So then I can give him credit. There you go. He did help write it. But no, I enjoyed that movie a lot, and literally no one talked about it besides the one weekend it came out, and then it just fizzled. No one said anything. I enjoyed it though. But I'm with you, Jayla. Did you like the newer Cabin in the Woods that what's his name did from Avengers?
What the huh? You mean Josh Whedon?
Yes.
He did the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the one you're talking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about they're in the cabin and there is like a whole facility, like the facility that's like running everything to
I don't
make
know why
them...
I thought there was an original one before that.
No, I'm talking about that one. I just love the idea that there's actually people that are causing a bunch of characters to do stupid things and placing it like the giant chessboard and they're making everyone, I like that.
Yeah, I like it way better than I did Escape Room. Escape Room was just like, all right, you guys should maybe not do a third. Like, it should end it.
I like the first one. The second one,
I also like the scope of Cabin in the Woods. Because it made the scope to like any horror movie. They had references to Hellraiser and Evil Dead, of course, and like all these different things that we've all loved and are iconic to us are all caused by these dudes and their ritual. So yeah, that's why it's.
I know he's not a name that a lot of people like to talk about today, but look, I still hold my hat on. The man gave me Avengers. The man gave me Cabin in the Woods, and that new show on HBO Max that he created.
He did Firefly too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking epic. So I'm like, again, you can hate him all you want. I'm not here to argue that. I don't know the man, but his track record for movies, pretty stellar. Even though Age of Ultron should be thrown in the garbage and then burned,
boy,
and then shot in.
Don't forget Buffy.
Boy.
Oh, Buffy too. Yeah, Trayvon, Buffy too. There you go. I don't know about Angel, but I know how triggered you'll get if I go there. So we'll move on. But let's move on. Sabrina, what's your number 3?
Alien Xenomorph.
Yep.
They are probably the best. Say it again?
No, go ahead. I'll go after you, Doug. Go ahead.
They trying to think. One of the ones that like it has to so like the next one goes together, but like the two of them are just like the best of the best.
Yep.
But like yeah, like they're like I wasn't sure when like we first did this list if they would count, but I'm glad that they do because like yeah, they're definitely like my favorite like ever.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know the group chat, not the group chat, the comment section was killing it earlier about Predator, but to me, again, I'm gonna die on this hill. Adrian Brody's Predator, fucking loved it. The Predator that came out a few years ago, fucking loved it. There is a thing with me about when a franchise is starting to tank bad, that you just say, you know what, fuck it, let's do something completely out of our ass. And when they said that the Predator suits are something that can open and a human can get inside of it, I said, oh, perfect. You were just like, you know what? I'm seeing what sticks on the wall. Fuck it. Take this, take that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I just was there because, again, I'm not saying that the movie was good. I just really appreciate when a studio goes, hey, we've literally tried everything. Whatever you can think of, try it. It's just like that's what came out. But I do appreciate the new Predator that's coming out. It's
I think for
yes,
Prey.
Yes,
Was it
Prey.
Prey, yeah.
Yeah, called Prey. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
I feel like I know they did the prequels to Alien and stuff like that, Prometheus and Alien Covenant and everything, but like I'd wanna see a show.
A show on the beginnings of Xenomorph?
Yeah, but like better than Prometheus. Sorry.
I'll tell you this, that'll be hard to do because Ridley Scott would be the one directly involved, and he's probably just gonna double down on Prometheus. Like,
unfortunately.
all right, I'm gonna give you what you just saw. But in show version.
And it'll probably be better.
I wouldn't say
Well,
that. It's
you know
the
what?
man that gave us Prometheus.
I was about to say, I don't know if you're gonna feel that way.
Ridley Scott hasn't made a good alien movie since Aliens.
Relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
But like them, okay, I think it's one of those things it's like I don't want to say this about like because it's not always true about every, character, but like Alien was like whether it's good or bad, it's still gonna make me watch it because I love Alien that much or Xenomorph so much.
100%. I feel that way about Batman movies.
How you feel about Noah
Javon?
Hawley? I remember something that was like Noah Hawley's being the showrunner of Aliens TV show for Hulu.
Yeah, it was supposed to be for FX. Then it was supposed to be for Hulu. Now it's kind of just dangling.
Okay.
Give me something. I want it. I'll watch it.
Trayvon, to be fair, Noah Hawley is.
Listen, if they do that and we do a review on it, I will cover it every week. I don't care. I'll watch it.
No, but to be fair, Sabrina, just so you know, Noah Hawley said he would be working with Ridley Scott to do this project. It's Ridley Scott's character. No way you're going to do it without Ridley Scott. Sorry, it's not going to happen. So
I'm not scared. I'm just saying it's probably gonna be better than Prometheus.
nothing Ridley Scott will ever do will be better than Prometheus. All right, Trayvon,
You don't know that.
Hey, I saw The Last Duel. That was much better than Prometheus. I didn't see The Last Duel.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, you said that. There is no way you saw it.
Nobody saw it.
I'm like,
I was like, when did you see it?
I'm like, you put so many of my favorite actors in this movie, and then said,
all right, listen, I'm actually gonna watch it this week, probably The Last Duel, and I'll let you know if it's better.
Why would you want to do that to yourself?
All right, I'm just
because I want to see that movie. You know, I want to see that movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I tell you what, that movie's so bad. I started to think those actors were bad. Like those actors are bad.
Last Duel.
That's how bad that movie is. I was like, is Ben Affleck?
We'll see. We'll see.
Isn't Ben Affleck in it for like 5 minutes?
Isn't it what?
Isn't Ben Affleck in it for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, it feels like that for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
It made me question Adam Driver too. I'm like, there's no way this is the same actor that was Kylo Ren. No fucking way. No way. No way.
Matt Damon.
The Matt Damon one kind of lined up. I'm like, yeah, no, this lines up in the last 6 minutes. But Trayvon, I'm like, this is definitely the Matt Damon that did the Zoo movie for sure. This is the same Matt Damon.
Oh,
Trayvon, what's your number 3? What's your number 3?
Jigsaw.
Okay. Okay.
Just from even I just remember when I think of Jigsaw, just the way he got up out that floor in the first one at the end. It's just I still remember the feeling. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, that's iconic. Just period. Just that part right there. And then he coursed it out the stuff, but that was amazing. Yeah,
look, and I mainly give him credit because I would have farted 6 times laying on that ground easily. He was on that ground for forever. I would have ruined the movie 30 minutes in. They're like, oh well, that's you. And it's like, damn, fucking farts. But no, I'm with you. Jigsaw he's in my top 2 for sure, 100%. Spoiler alert. That to me is the peak of icons. But I'll get to that a little later. All right, let's get into number 2. Number 2 for me is none other than Pennywise.
Ooh!
Again, I would never say I looked at drains so differently walking down the street. Like, all right, like, you in there? Like, and again, look, you guys remember those memes like when the Batman was filming and it was like Pennywise was looking out and it was like, I got the Batman movie down here, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, they said that. I would have jumped my ass down there. So I'm like, I don't even blame that.
See, like that's me now, but like if the sequel's down there, I'll go.
Oh, but anything. He could even say I got Robert Pattinson down here, and I'm
Yep.
I'm shooting down like it's a slip and slide. I'm just right down.
Oh, move on, scoot over. I'm coming down.
Wait, Sabrina. The funniest thing is, I get down there. I toggle the flashlight on my phone, and I look over, and it's just Sabrina sitting there like, "Oh, you're here for Rob too?" She's like, "Oh, damn!" Like, when did you get here? Like 20 minutes ago. He got me too.
You got me too, man.
But no, you guys.
Bullshit.
You guys brought up everything before. I won't go into it, but that little boy scene under the bleachers, that will forever haunt me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's all time classic. So yeah, Pennywise definitely makes it. And again, we gotta give Skarsgård a lot of credit, man.
Wait, are you talking about the second one?
No, the newer scene.
You said little boy. It was little girl.
Was it a little girl? I thought it was
yeah.
It was in the fun house, the mirror house. The girl was.
Oh, you're
That's
right.
why I was like, wait. I was like thinking. I was like, wait a minute. No, it's a little girl.
Right.
Not that it matters, but still, I was like, yeah.
No,
I was like,
accuracy does matter. You're absolutely right. You're right.
You got to get that It Chapter 2 knowledge. Just spot on.
I tell you what, the one thing I didn't mess up, Blake, is I definitely saw a butt naked old lady in that.
Oh my god!
Listen! Anyone that forgets, we'll just do a rewatch. We'll do a live rewatch. It's okay. We can do it.
No.
I would rather watch The Last Duel.
It's a lot.
You keep saying
you
that.
are not nice.
All right, let's move on. Number 2, Jayla, what you got for number 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that my number 2 is Ghostface. If we're going to get specific, 1996. There's so many reasons. I mean, iconic, obviously, but if you go back and see how well planned they were the entire time, the reveal is my top reveal of all the Scream movies. How it just kind of went to this descent of craziness. Everything from hiding the dad the entire time to just this Ghostface. That is absolutely Billy and Stu both.
Yes.
Both.
There we go.
Yeah, Trayvon was making that very clear when he was doing. I was just like, oh no, just Billy. He was like, both.
Yes.
Both.
Matthew Lillard's performance in that last bit is iconic. I mean, come on.
That's fair. And look, he rebounded that with Shaggy. So I mean, that man was on a roll. He was definitely on a roll. Sure.
He's great.
All right. Didge, what's your number 2?
Michael Myers. I love the Halloween series. Like, just I didn't like. I wasn't a huge fan of Halloween Kills, but it mainly because of the evil dies tonight, and evil clearly didn't die.
Look, I'm not going to defend that stuff from that movie. I liked it, but I get it.
Look, only reason I will defend that is it's fair that the people thought that, but then Mike was like, y'all got me fucked up. Evil ends tonight?
But they used it leading in. Like, if I'd heard it into the film, I would have been fine. Like if I'd heard it during the film, because it is that situation of clearly we think we're gonna win,
right?
And Mike, like you said, Michael Myers, you thought.
Like, are you talking about for like the marketing, like how they kept saying it?
Yeah. And I think that's sort of like because the movie itself, I thought it was okay. The marketing just sort of led me differently, and then for them to come back afterwards and be like, "Oh, that's because there's another one coming." It's like, okay.
See, if that's the case, like the way they market it, they should do that for the third movie. Like once the trilogy's over. Then because then like you'd be like, oh, that's gonna probably be it for a while. So it's like, maybe he could die.
I mean, I always appreciate whenever a good villain is just like, oh, you got me fucked up. Oh, you
that's so to my point of why he's number 2 is that part of it is the whole. It almost felt like he even was telling the marketers like, oh, you thought evil was dying tonight. Like, you got me fucked up. Clearly.
Oh, you would have thought.
Right, 100%. Wait till you see how I kill everybody in this one.
And then like we were saying, when Michael Myers wasn't killing like that in any other movie. It was almost like he took offense and was like, oh, you guys thought it was over? Well, let me show you this new move I know.
Yeah, I swear the way he was killing was like he was on Twitter and all he kept saying is, "Oh my God, you only kill with a knife. Like, do something new." And he was like, "Okay, all right, okay." He was just like, "All right, light bulb. I'm gonna kill someone with that. No problem." Balance. I'm gonna kill somebody with that. Like, okay, no problem. You want me to? You want creativity. I understand. I got this. I got you. Don't even worry. So I appreciated that a lot. Even though one scene where, by the way, let me give so much credit to the writers because it's always a trope where the woman doesn't know how to do anything. The man comes in, has to save her. I love that the guy was like, I've never shot a gun before. And she was like, oh my God, give me this goddamn thing. Like, give me this. And then she died the worst way possible. I was just like, you should have maybe let him keep it. Maybe he would have accidentally shot him. Maybe, I don't know. But I do appreciate that bit of writing because it's always refreshing where the guy, and I loved it when they were like, oh, you're the doctor. She's the nurse. He was just like, no, I'm the nurse. She's the doctor. They were like, what? That exists? And it's like, yeah, yes, all the time. So I love that they put the flip on that because it's refreshing, where there is no damsel in distress, especially having to be a woman. Like they're actually out here kicking ass. Shout out to Sydney. Sydney been holding this down since '98. Shout out to you, Sydney. They can't kill you. They can't kill
Clean
you.
Shit.
That's right.
96.
Oh, 96. I'm sorry. Since 96. Wow.
There we go.
I was only 3 years old. You've been holding it down since I was 3. I'm 28 now. Shout out to
Queen.
Look, if I ever interviewed her, I would make her feel so old by saying that. Like, bro, I was 3 when you were out here dodging serial killers.
She'd be like, ooh.
She'd be like, yikes, can you maybe not say that? And it's like, that's fair. Okay, so we got Michael Myers. We got Pennywise. Blake, did you go?
I have not.
You did not go. What's your number 2?
Number 2, I got Jason Voorhees.
Okay.
Wow.
I loved him even in part 2, 3, and 4. I thought 4 was a fitting end for that franchise, but it was never going to end at 4. He was not in 5, so 6 is where I think 6 is even my favorite movie in that franchise, but 6 is where I was like, zombie Jason is what we're doing now, and that's the preferred route that I like for Jason, is literally resurrected by lightning and maggots in his face, and he's just like, back from the dead, let's do this. The last one failed without me. Is that what you're telling me? Okay.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Also, I saw someone say it in the chat, but also my first horror movie that I like really saw was Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to see that, so it was like the movie for me because I watched it on the side. Like I had to sneak that movie, and I was like, "This is pretty good. This is the pinnacle of cinema."
Look, I can say this now because I'm old enough. So, mom, brace yourself. But my mom was very much like, "Oh, you can't see it because all the blood and gore, right?" So I'm like, "Oh, she doesn't know about any of the nudity in this movie. Dope." So I'm like, I just need to get old enough that she can accept the violence part, and she has no idea about everything else that's in this movie.
Yeah, there's
when I was old enough, and she's like, "Yeah, you can go ahead and watch it." I was just like, "Yeah." Yeah, no, I did not have any interest in that movie for Freddy or so, but watching it, I definitely look back and I'm like, oh man, this is an all-time classic, man. Freddy and Jason they were at like their peaks. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, oh man. So that was a great combination, but it does always break my heart that we never got the Ash.
Yeah, we got it in comic form, which I love. So I guess we'll just keep it at that. Even Robert Englund, I think, pitched that movie during a convention, and it was genius. They should have made it happen based on that alone. But
that will forever hurt me.
Yep.
Personally, that will forever.
That's one of the biggest F-ups probably in Hollywood.
Oh my god.
It took them long enough to make that first movie. I'm surprised it even came out.
That is fair.
You're not wrong.
I'm even more shocked that they didn't double down and do a sequel. Because I'm like, people love that movie for what it was. I think people in our age brackets love that movie. Maybe people that were like, old people that were reviewing it maybe trashed it. But I know our generation holds that movie in very high esteem.
Oh, absolutely.
You went to see Freddy and Jason fuck each other up, and that third act delivers on that.
Yeah.
And bro, the ending is what shook me when Jason comes out the wood. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker won't die. And then he's holding Freddy's head, and I'm like, damn, man, I was rooting for Freddy. And then he winks, and I'm like, that's my fucking guy, right?
And I love it, because even the director's like, I wanted an ending where fans of both would be happy. Like, if you wanted Jason to win, he won. If you wanted Freddy to win, he won. It's
right. I wish they took that same recipe for King Kong vs. Godzilla. But anyway.
Godzilla was always going to win that.
I don't know how someone with no arms is winning a fight with anyone.
Fire number 2. Did you?
You didn't know.
Right. We will have a whole podcast about this.
I said my number 2.
Oh, you did your number 2. What was your number 2 again?
Ghostface.
Ghostface, yes. Yes, Ghostface. Okay, so Ghostface, Michael Myers. I went Pennywise. Blake just went. Okay, so Sabrina and Trayvon. Trayvon, what's your number 2?
This might be a little controversial.
Oh.
Consider my last one. It's Amanda from Saw. I like her more than Jigsaw.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
Good choice. Yeah.
Her arc, man. I'm
with you.
A wild time.
I enjoyed her. I was like, she is. Oh my god! Like when I of course you think of Jigsaw, but I immediately think of her. When I think about the Saw movies. I was like, she was unhinged. Like she went through a lot. And I was like, that reverse bear trap, that pit of needles, like all the things. Like she just, she had a time.
That's one of the biggest F-ups I think that franchise did, was killing her off as early as they did. If you had kept her as the predecessor, I think a lot of those movies would have been received well, because it would have been in the same vein. She wouldn't have done it for her own views of justice. She would have done it to continue on the legacy. So I was very upset when she died. I thought it was poetic, because I feel like I feel like he knew that she couldn't go against her natural instincts, right? So I appreciated that. So yeah. I can see you putting Amanda that high. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I loved Amanda's character.
Loved her. Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
I especially loved it because when you find out she's part of it in part 2, you're just like, then why did you let yourself be pushed in those needles? Like, why? Like, what? Like, if I was part of it, I would have been the only one that didn't have anything happen to me. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
She
dodging everything.
was very much dedicated.
No,
that was the thing. That was the thing.
I get why it did it because it sold it to us. We weren't watching like, oh, she's clearly part of it. We were watching out like, oh, damn, she's getting this twice. Like, goddamn, you didn't learn the first time. So I very much, because that was the first thought I had when the trailer came out and it showed her laying on the ground. I'm like, God damn, you didn't learn from the first one? What did you do?
Yeah.
I appreciated it when it was like, oh no, she was part of it. So I'm glad you put Amanda at number 2, Trayvon. No controversy here, man. That was a really good pick.
That was a great pick.
I don't know, the Jigsaw, I was like, I'm happy
we're with you, man.
Yeah.
Now your other one for the third one is where I was like, oh, I ain't with you on that one. But Amanda, I'm with you. Sabrina, what do you got as number 2?
Predator.
Oh,
good pick.
Okay.
That is like, see, like I wanted to put him at number 1, but like I'll explain who's number 1 on like why I couldn't put him. But yeah, Predator is like one of my favorite like movie characters of all time. Like, now I'm just talking about the first one, like the OG one, but like my favorite, like that both made me really love Alien and Predator was like Alien vs. Predator. And I'm gonna say it because I feel like everyone else hates it, but I love that movie. Blake knows how much I love the movie. I love Requiem. Woo! Yeah, I love Requiem.
Okay, Prometheus. I don't think we can. Her shit.
Go on.
Prometheus is better than Alien.
Come on, speak your truth.
No, you ain't talking.
I wish I had popcorn for this bit.
Yeah, I'm not like claiming it's like the best, but I just love it because like not only did I like grow up and remembering like loving that movie, but like I don't know, it made me really just love like those two movies were like just made me love Predator and Alien like as characters. I'm like I just loved, the versus type of like it's the same thing as like Freddy versus Jason kind of concept.
That's exactly what it was. Right.
Yeah, but like it's just like them. They're just I don't know. I don't know. Every time I just think about like fictional like movie characters, I'm like they're up there. I'm like they're the greatest. Especially Predator. Predator's my favorite. Like I will always defend Predator. I'm so excited for the show. Oh my god, I'm so excited for the show.
Is it a show? I thought it was a movie.
No, it's a movie.
I thought it was a movie.
Oh, it's a movie now. Oh, okay. Okay. See, like I heard different things, so I never know.
Yeah,
Alien's getting the show. Predator's getting.
Oh, okay. That's what I meant. Okay. Yeah. So like I know I felt like it started off as a show and then it became a movie again, right?
No, they always wanted to do another movie after.
Are you sure? I could have sworn it was
there's an Alien TV show. There's
Prey wasn't supposed to be a show.
No, I always thought it was supposed to be a movie.
Yeah,
I did hear about
Alien movie. There's an Alien movie as well with Fede Alvarez or something.
Right.
And I don't know about this Predator. I'm assuming that's another
I
thing.
could have sworn like when it first was like talked about, it was going to be a show, and then they turned it into a movie.
About the first human that's taken on a predator, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have sworn that was a show on like it was going to be on like Hulu or something. I swear to God.
I know
like
the movie is coming out on Hulu. So
maybe that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not going to get like a theater release. Maybe that's why. Because I was like, oh, if it's on streaming service, I probably thought it was a show.
Hold on,
that makes sense.
Prey is coming out on Hulu.
No. Prey's gonna get a theatrical release.
I thought it was. I thought
there's an Alien show and an Alien movie are both on Hulu.
Right. Yes, that for Alien, but Prey.
Yeah, but I also thought I saw Prey was on Hulu too.
Yeah.
Remember though, when Prey was originally conceived, it was still in a time where they weren't sure what the landscape of theaters were.
Okay, that's probably what it was then. Okay.
I think they were saying that Hulu could be one of the platforms that it does release on, but it will have a theatrical release. It won't be exclusively on Hulu. They'll have a theatrical release.
That's good.
So I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying they're gonna have both.
Like but yeah, when I was making this list, I even asked Blake. I was like, can I put Predator on here? Because he's my favorite. Because like
Predator's a monster, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's not like because like I don't know. Because I know you said icons.
When you hear horror, you don't think Alien and Predator right off the bat.
Yeah, I do, but like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like think of the classic ones more that are like more horror based than like the sci-fi kind of horror. But like they are the horror like greatest and most badass characters. The two of them, especially Predator.
This is your list, so it's only what appeals to you, not everything.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to put it at number 1, but then when you hear my number 1, it'll make sense. Like it'll make sense.
All right, so let's get right into it.
Batman.
Number 1. Number 1. No, that would have been my number 1. Number 1, I'm going Jigsaw. I forever thought Michael Myers had the greatest horror theme song ever. There would be nothing that would ever come close to it. But when you hear I'm like,
doesn't it?
First of all, when you hear that, the first thing I do is I make sure that a door's not being shut behind me. That's the first thing I do.
Okay.
I make sure that my leg's not shackled. I just check those two things right off the bat if I hear that song. But it was just one of those mysteries that was just so drastically different. And what I love most about Jigsaw is he's not like the other killers we have on our list. He does give you an opportunity to bring on the change that you should bring upon yourself. He gives you a chance. It's not just straight up, all right, I showed up to your house, stabbed you 6 times, next house. It's very much just like, hey, you're a shitty person, but I believe in second chances. Would you like to stop being a shitty person? And I love how in like the first 4 movies, whenever he's like he starts the clock, they spend like 5 minutes of 10 minutes just screaming. And it's like, bro, just stop being a shitty person, acquiesce to it and just figure out a way out of this thing. No, they want to scream and
like I said,
F you. So that's how you die. But I appreciate the concept of just being so drastically different. And again, like Trayvon said, bro, I swear when that movie ended, I had part of me was like, no, I need to watch it again. Because there's no way the same motherfucker we all sat here and looked at on the ground this whole time was alive this whole time. No way. Just no way. Like I missed something. So again, Jigsaw to me is all-time classic. The concept, the little doll riding in on the bike, the pig mask when he kidnaps you. Want to play a game. I love everything about that. Go ahead, Trevor.
Somebody cosplayed as that, like
the little man.
School, the little man riding on the bike, and I just was like, that is cool.
Billy the puppet.
Stay away from me.
I made this rule in my neighborhood for Halloween every year. There are 2 costumes your children cannot portray. It's Chucky and it's Jigsaw riding on the bike. Your kid shows up to my door, rings my doorbell, and I open it up and I see that, he gets punted. I mean punted. It could be 3. I'm punting that child.
Oh my god.
Because it's like the smaller they are, the more realistic they look.
So basically, the moral story is don't bring your kids to join us.
I don't.
That's what I'm getting here.
I don't do Halloween. Period. I don't do it. I just don't. Come
I mean,
because
look, part of me is with Trayvon. Part of me wants to just open the door and throw the candy at your kid, like no interaction whatsoever. Trick or treat, close the door. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I can't do that. So just like let your daughter come as like a princess or something like that. Don't have your daughter show up as Tiffany. The fuck? I'm not answering my door. If I peek through my peek hole and it's Tiffany at my door, you must be out your mind. No way. Nuh-uh. Not happening. Not happening on my block. No, thank you.
Like I said the other day about Saw, like when we were talking about it gives you a second chance. That's why I said that movie molded me. Those movies molded me
to be a better person.
Yes, it molded me. I swear. That's all.
Trayvon, I can't even I wasn't thinking Saw, but I swear to God, like last week, I was walking in a building, and like I walked in before this old lady, and I didn't hold the door open, and like something in my brain was just like, go hold that door open. And now I'm starting to think, was it Jigsaw? Like, was it him saying, do you want to play a game? And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, no.
Testing you. You're being put to the test.
Like, not only did I open the door, but like I lifted her through the door, like whatever you need, lady, I got you. Don't worry, I don't want to get kidnapped. But no, that's funny, Trayvon. But yeah, so Jigsaw's my number 1. Didge, what's your number 1?
Freddy. Just because. that concept is terrifying to me. Somebody that comes after you in your dreams, you can't not sleep. Like we said earlier, you just can't not sleep. Right. So something that's coming after you in your dreams, I don't know how you beat that. And obviously, like we've seen the way it happened in the movies, but like the way I look at horror, I always think like if this is in real life, you can't do that. And it's terrifying to me. So that's what makes it the most iconic.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Sith Morrison who corrected me. It's called Billy the Puppet. Is the name of the puppet. And Brandon said Trayvon recreated the games to mold his life. Look, it's a good way to live life. Like, don't be a shitty person. That's a really good model to have.
Saw, Final Destination, Strangers. Completely molded my life.
But to be fair, the strangers killed those people because they were home, not because they were bad.
I don't care. No. It molded where I would buy a home.
Oh,
fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
That is fair.
Not by myself. Not being by myself somewhere. No.
And look, I really wanted to put the characters in that movie like on this list. I really did, but I'm gonna save Strangers for when we do top 10 or the best horror movies. And I think Strangers would 100% make my list.
That'll be a fun list.
100%. Blake, what you got for number one?
Number one, I have Freddy Krueger. He has always been my favorite, and he will probably always be my favorite. We've touched on him a lot. I just want to highlight the Freddy renaissance that was going on when his movies were coming out every single year. He was on kids' lunch boxes and action figures to the point where parents were like, hold up, why is he being marketed for children? Those movies are not okay for them, which is very true. That was a weird time when it came to slashers, but he got his own TV show where he acted as the host for every episode. He showed up in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it was so good.
Unfortunately, had a remake. Robert Englund is my Freddy Krueger. That is who I'm talking about.
100%.
And he had, like what you said about the remake, he has humor to him, and that's what sets him. Also, he's a slasher that talks. Michael and Jason being like some of the other two big ones, just kind of walking around not talking. Freddy was a nice change of pace. He had his quips. Even the corniest quips are some of his best. And every time I can even watch the worst Nightmare on Elm Street movie and enjoy it from beginning to end because Freddy is that entertaining himself. So, and like you said, iconic. The fedora, the sweater, and the glove. It's always going to be Freddy.
Right. I'm 100% with you. I don't know why that thing just went off in my head. It's just,
I think someone's sitting next to you.
There we go. I'm like, it just, I don't know what ghost. I don't know what Casper's doing. I don't know what the hell that was. But all right. So we got Freddy. We got Jigsaw. We got Michael Myers. Jayla, what's your number one?
So I want to say that it was really hard to make this list. And even though I really held to my stance of doing villains for most of this, and I love Freddy, I wanted to put him in somewhere, but I just cannot deny putting Ash in my number one. Forever. Ash, I love him to bits. He is always up to no good as far as dealing with the Deadites, and it's just Ash. I mean, a chainsaw hand is one of the coolest weapons I can possibly think of having, point blank period. And I've always loved the movies. I remember experiencing Evil Dead for the first time in preparation for the Evil Dead remake is when I got introduced to it. And ever since then, I've been all the way in. So Ash is forever my number one. He has a special place in my heart. I wish I could have fit Freddy in somewhere though, because I love Freddy too. But
shout out to Gabriel though. The fact that Gabriel made your list and not Freddy. Shout out to Gabriel.
It was hard. It was really hard to do that because I've dressed up as Freddy for Halloween and done the makeup like all the way more than once. I sat through a 6-hour documentary about Freddy Krueger. I love him, but there's just something that was so fresh about Gabriel that I had to.
Look, there was no Michael Myers on my list.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are gonna go, but you had the Leprechaun. Again, this is my list. This isn't for anyone else. This is just for me. And for me, fucking love that guy went to the hood twice. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
I just want to give some love to Freddy before I end off my list.
For sure. No, I got you. Sabrina, I want to pass it to you, and I want to ask this to you. Are you familiar that Batman has comics with Predator?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I don't own them. Yes. I do not own them, but I've always like every time I've seen them, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll definitely get to that, and I just never have. But I know my job sells them, so I definitely have to pick them up because I definitely need that. But I love that concept. Like, I was just doing like work yesterday at work, and same thing with Superman. Superman had like a comic with aliens too as well, which was really cool.
Yeah, did anybody read Batman and Superman versus Alien and Predator?
No, but I do want to read that. I actually do want to read that.
It's one of my favorites.
I'm gonna try to look for that actually.
I would recommend for you guys to read though is Batman and Spawn.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
And oh my god, I cannot think about Spawn.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes. No, I'm not taking Leprechaun off. No, I'm not doing it. But Spawn, goddamn.
He makes you double think though, doesn't he? He makes you think.
Yes, he does. Hold on.
We need to do a top 10 anti-heroes list so I can put Spawn on that.
Hold on, because I might put him in here. You know what? Yes. Take Jason out at number 5. Spawn goes in at number 5.
Spawn deserves it.
Spawn goes in at number 5.
Man.
Good place is Roman on mine. It's number 6.
Okay, perfect. And
Spawn coming up last minute.
You know what? Sabrina said this about Batman, and this was true for me with Spawn well before I ever thought about this with Batman, is that his cape is a whole nother identity.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's what I loved about Spawn, is that there's times you could just see the cape in the glowing green eyes. And it's
it's like having a whole personality within the cape. Right. That's like something that both Batman and Spawn do, and I love that.
Love it. That's why when they came together in the comics, it's just like, yes.
The two most dramatic characters.
McFarlane's like, I get to draw so many capes.
Right.
I literally
those capes were just like you would have thought it was a fashion show. Like he went all out for these.
Yeah, it's like who could out drama each other.
Like the capes were doing the equivalent of this every time. Like
I'm serious. Like the two of them having trying to out drama each other.
Yes, they were. Capes. The cape was just like, excuse me, watch
that. Yeah, that's why I think that's my favorite. Like one of my favorite things of how Batman's drawn. Like the longer and more dramatic the cape is, the better.
Yes,
I love Batman, but Spawn would out cape him any day.
I'm sorry.
Spawn would out cape him.
You're wrong. No, you're wrong.
Absolutely agree.
I might have to agree.
You can argue all you want. It's Spawn.
His cape game is on point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Batman's is up there, even higher.
I would say 1A.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
1A, 1B. Spawn gets dramatic as AF with his capes.
Batman is literally the definition of dramatic.
I don't know. But
he is, I'm telling you.
What's your number one?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Michael Myers.
Okay.
When I think of horror, so that's why I was like, I wanted to put Predator at 1 because he's just like my all-time favorite. But like, when I think of horror, I immediately think of Michael Myers and like Halloween. It's like not only the music, but like the movies, just like they're just so iconic. And like, I kind of wanted to add how we were talking about it before, even in the new ones, how I know it's like the whole Evil Dies Tonight thing, but I like that they're leading towards more of him being like more than human now, because like he's survived everything, like you've seen like how many times he's almost died, and like he's like an average human. It's like, how the hell are they surviving that? And I like that. Like I remember Jamie Lee Curtis, like she said like something along the lines where she's like, every time he kills, he becomes less human. Like I love that. Like I love that concept, and like I'm so glad that they're leaning towards that more in this trilogy, because it's like that makes him even scarier, because it's like when you look at him as a human, it's like, all right, yeah, I could kill him, but like that's why he's never died, because he's like he has to be more than human.
Right. I mean, look, he got shot and fell out of a window and survived. I stubbed my toe this morning and thought that was the end of my life. So I'm like,
literally,
he's clearly not human. That's
literally. No, yeah, he's definitely the most iconic.
For sure. No, I love that being your number one. And like I said, that's one of the meanest theme songs ever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, literally. And like just even the movies and like I know you were saying before like Rob Zombies like you like better, but like they're not my favorite, but like they're not as like especially like the first one that's like not as bad, but it's just like it's definitely like lower on the list, but like I don't know. I don't think it's awful. But like I get what you're saying.
Damn good.
I saw Busta Rhymes fight Michael Myers, so there's no way you're gonna tell me
literally
the worst Halloween movie. So I won't take that. Look, if people don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween movie, no problem. Not here to argue that. But you will not tell me it's the worst of the Halloween movies that have happened.
I would say the second one is.
That's what I love. The second one. I'd say whatever the one is where LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes are fighting Michael Myers. That 100% is the worst one. 100%. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Halloween was originally meant to be an anthology. It was only supposed to be Michael the first time, and the second time they were supposed to move away from it. But everyone was like, "No, we need more Michael."
Yeah, he pulled a Boba Fett. Pulled a Boba Fett. It was just like, well, we got to double down on this.
We already started this.
Yeah, we already did it. Let's just continue. All right, Trayvon, to end this out for this episode, what's your number one?
I already said it earlier. Strangers.
Nice.
That family.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
And isn't it even crazier that's based off of a true story?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me sick. Stop.
That's what scares me the most.
Yeah. So wait, I wanted to ask you this, Trayvon. I couldn't wait to ask you this. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. How terrified were you? Not terrified like scared, but kind of just like a oh shit moment. Where you're like, oh damn, end of the movie, damn, they both died, and then she just goes, and then you're like, oh my god, what? Like, how are you not dead?
It's always that last scare.
I just knew that I wasn't like I don't care what they do. Sequels, I'm not doing it.
They did the sequel. I didn't watch the sequels though. To be fair, I didn't watch the sequel. Yeah, I didn't watch the sequel.
Apparently, they're doing a third one too. Apparently, maybe that's what I hear. I don't know.
To me,
really?
Yeah, to me, what made The Strangers interesting was it was partially based off of true events, right? And it was the shock and awe of the first one. To me, you can't double down on that going forward. You have to get different. And if you get different, you then lose my interest because I was only interested in the part of it that was based off of a true story. So it's just like The Purge. The first Purge, beautifully done. And then everything else happened. And I very much was like, well, now it's becoming Fast and Furious of horror movies.
They went. They're going all out for that, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
they're having a blast at least.
Right?
What did you say, Jayla?
They're having a blast at least.
They for sure are.
I mean, even Scream did a TV show too, though. I mean, Scream.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about
it. I watched it.
I actually liked it. Sorry.
We'll not talk about anything tied to
TV show.
Yeah,
I watched it. Yeah, TV show. For
I didn't see the TV show.
It was really good.
I've been scared to watch it.
Wes Craven would have never.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You
I haven't even seen the latest movie.
Huh?
I want to say if we're talking
reboots,
I loved I Know What You Did Last Summer. That
series?
was
I really liked it. I really liked it.
The show was good.
I really liked it.
So, Trayvon, me knowing you would love
that movie.
Me knowing you would love that. It was so. And
where was the show again?
Trayvon. Say it again.
It was on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon, yeah. It was so fucking well, Trayvon. I promise you would love it. And as soon as you watch it, we'll review it together.
Okay.
We'll review it together.
It had an amazing twist.
Yes, it did. From the
I
beginning.
need to watch it like tonight. Oh my god.
That twist, I was blown away.
Yep.
Okay.
Great job to that whole team. The kills were great, but most of all, Trayvon, the story is what will get you.
Yeah.
The story of why, like the reason for why.
Mm-hmm.
It will definitely get you. And please, Trayvon, whenever you watch it, along the way, let me know who you think the killer is. Along the way, just like,
just throw that on Twitter so I can see that. So
I'm not gonna tell you yes or no, but I will be curious if you get it right at some point.
Just throw that out there
right now. I didn't get it right. Even when they revealed it, I said, no, there has to be something else.
I was so wrong.
So, yeah, no, I love that so much.
I was just seeing that. I'm like, Okay.
Please watch it, Trayvon. Please do. Yeah.
I'll definitely
If
watch
you suffer through Scream, you can watch that for sure.
Hey.
Watch it.
What did he?
it. I want to watch
did he
Hostel
say
just
here?
because you talk about it, but I'm scared too.
Oof, you should.
I'm really
Yeah.
scared, but I want to watch
It's
people
messed
talk
up.
about it.
Just watch it. Just watch it. Like I said,
You
it's
compared it to Saw. You said like if you made Saw look like playthings. I'm like,
Oh wait, Hostel?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Do not watch Hostel, Trayvon.
No. You're good. You don't need that in your
Okay.
life.
You're fine.
Right,
It's
such a fun
okay.
movie.
Do not watch Hostel.
Fun.
Hostel
Oof.
is
Such a fun
Hostel
movie.
is like
Such
you
a
know how,
fun
like,
movie.
You know how,
Oh my
like
god.
parents, you know how like parents back in the day would have told their kids like how like to stay away from like Snoop Dogg and like hardcore rap and stuff like that. That's where I put Hostel. Hostel is the thing that like you have to be old enough, and I don't think you're old enough to watch that movie. Like you got to be older to watch Hostel. I regret watching it at the young age I watched it at. Shout out to my dad. I remember leaving there scarred. I couldn't trust anybody. Any teachers, don't touch me. Like, I know who you are. like you know, it put me in a crazy spot. That's not a good mental movie to watch, Trayvon.
Okay.
Don't rush into Hostel. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Don't do that. You know what, Trayvon? When we all hang out together, when we do New York Comic Con, maybe we'll watch it all together. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll watch Hostel together as a group, and maybe you can soak it
I
in.
don't know. That's a fun group activity.
That's a yeah.
That's better than making Trayvon watch it by himself.
Okay, yeah. All right. You have
Yeah.
a point. You have a point there.
Yeah. Life changes watching that movie for sure.
I just saw it on Amazon. That's why I was like,
No
I'm
comment.
just saying, if you happen to pop it in and go, Jawan, I can't look at life the same. Just remember, I warned you.
We all said don't do
I'm not
it.
watching. I'm not watching it.
I already told you, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not.
But all right, Didge, Blake, Sabrina, Trayvon, Jayla. This was so much fun being able to do this. I know Tristan wanted to be a part of this. I know, shout out to Pete. Pete was dying to be a part of this.
Oh man.
But they weren't able to make it on. I know Dom is a huge horror fan. AJ is gonna curse us out for doing this, but we'll do more.
You'll live.
We'll do it
Yeah,
again.
We'll do more.
We're definitely revisiting this. Absolutely.
100%. But this was a lot of fun. And like I said, to everyone that watches this, that's watching this now, will watch this later. This was not a historical list. This was our personal favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So when you question it, just know my favorite is not going to be your favorite. Okay, that's why we're different. That's why we're not the same. We're not twins. Okay.
Yeah, and I want to
My
add
favorites
that
aren't your favorites.
we all take away something different from these horror movies. There's gonna be different details that are our favorite. So it's really cool
100%.
seeing everyone's perspectives and learning what they find scary. This is one of the coolest things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I put Tall Man on here. If you guys came out and was like, I don't know who the fuck that is, I wouldn't go, what?
If
You
we're
don't
doing
know
his,
Phantasm? Like, no.
if we're doing historic and we didn't mention Norman Bates, we all failed.
Right.
Yeah,
We
or
did.
Hannibal Lecter.
Or Hannibal. He was originally on my list, by the way. I moved him. Hannibal.
Yeah, he barely
did
missed
too.
the list.
Yeah.
Norman, I wanted to put on. You know who I struggle with. I really wanted to put Joker on this list.
How did I know that was a thing you were thinking
I
about?
Blake did
Specifically,
it.
New 52
You know what's funny?
Joker.
You know, it's
That
funny,
was
Blake.
horror.
I only wanted to put Joker on here
Or you could do Arkham Asylum.
to do a reason to talk about Batman.
I knew
Oh
it.
my God.
I was
Me.
waiting for it.
For Joker.
See, like, that's usually me, but I was good. I was good.
I was gonna say for number one, Sabrina's gonna be like Red Rain Batman, like the vampire version, or like Man Bat or some shit.
I wanted to say that, and I was like, I'm gonna be good, and like
it would
not.
be valid, but
I mean, look, I was thinking Marvel zombies when Didge said zombie.
Oh
I'm
my
like, I could
God.
have done Marvel zombies.
Zombie Cap.
getting my list together, I looked at my zombie Midnight Funko Pop and I was like, nah, I can't do
Maybe.
that. I can't do it. It's
can't.
too big
Like-
a stretch.
I was like, me. I was like, so how can I relate this to Batman? And I was like, no, let me be good. Let me just focus on horror movie icons.
Also, I saw
Um,
someone in the chat say it sucked to not see any characters from Resident Evil. I had Mr. X and Nemesis on my list at one point. They eventually didn't make it, but they're very also Pyramid Head. He's one that I really wanted to put on here, but he just.
You know what? You know what we'll do then, Blake? Because that actually gave me an idea. Not anytime soon, because we just did this. But down the line, we'll do 11 to 20.
Oh,
11 to 20.
All
So,
right.
Okay.
Oh, that should
All
be the
right.
Halloween
Like
one.
we were like, oh, I want to add this person on. We'll put it in the 11 to 20.
And we'll be more broad with it too,
Right.
going into
Yeah.
it. All right, yeah, absolutely.
great
I'm down.
idea.
11 and 20. Yeah. So we'll do that down the road. We'll do 11 to 20.
What's going to
Halloween
be our
special.
next week's top 10?
Next week, I'm not sure. We'll talk about that in the group chat and figure that out. But I'm not sure if we're doing our box office flops today. But if we do, stay tuned for that because that'll be a way shorter one. We're only doing 5. But I'm really excited to see what you guys' box office flops were.
I'm very excited with mine. I like
I'm very excited. So you know what? We might do that today. We might do
it's
that.
a short one.
It's a
Yeah.
show. You know what? Actually, should we just lobby it part of this?
I need a dinner break.
Okay, let's do a dinner break.
Yeah, same.
I'm
Little
hungry.
intermission.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little. It's like I need to get something to eat. I'm hungry.
Okay, so all right, you guys circle back around at 6:30. Circle
Sounds
back around at
perfect.
6:30.
Perfect.
We'll do top 5 box office flops.
Woo!
Okay.
Perfect.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a lot of fun. You guys are
Awesome.
gonna hate my list. Let me see if you guys had any last words before we hop off.
Wait, is it top 5 box office flops or just one?
No, top 5.
A top 5. Okay,
Yeah, top
I
5.
picked just one.
Oh,
I need to pick 3 more.
Yeah, top 5. And again, these are your favorites. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not historical flops like the biggest flops ever. This is your favorite movies that just so happen to be box office flops.
Right.
Hype.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Easy.
So let's see.
You should already know mine, probably.
I watched all 3 parts of Hostel, and only the first part is good. I completely agree.
Mm.
It
However,
wasn't that bad.
it was pretty bad.
Drop in
However,
quality.
I do not recommend the Human Centipede films. Yes, those.
Yeah. Mhm,
No.
We don't talk about that.
I don't. There's no fun in them at all. If you want a weird body horror that has the same energy but it's a bit more fun, Tusk. Tusk is a good replacement.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, Trayvon,
That's a
just
rough
ignore
one.
any of
Don't
these.
watch Tusk, but if you want like a lower level Human Centipede that's not as extreme, Tusk.
And
Tusk
again,
is
I
up
want,
there, though. It's getting
again,
there.
I want to reiterate:
There.
an icon is subjective. It's like when you say who's the greatest actor of all time. There is no factual evidence
Nicolas Cage.
to
Mhm.
that. I mean,
I actually want to see that
You can make
movie.
a good
that
case.
I do
he's
want to see
doing
that
right now.
movie.
Yeah, I do.
But I just want to reiterate. Whenever you're doing a list of anything, whether it's icon, personal favorites, whatever, it's all to a personal interpretation. Just because your icon is something doesn't mean it's someone else's. So it's subjective. It's never like there is no like museum of top 5 iconic horror villains, and it's like, well, that'll never change in everyone's mind in history. No, it's you can go wherever you want to go. It's your personal favorites. So our personal icons, mine was fucking Leprechaun. So what? It's my personal fucking favorite. I don't expect you guys to
I feel
go
like you were
watch it.
expecting more beef with the Leprechaun choice than you got.
I was
Yeah.
expecting a little bit more.
You know what? I chose Leprechaun, and that's
Very
okay.
defensive for Leprechaun. Like, no, it's
I
great.
was like, my soapbox is literally right next to my feet. I was ready to stand on it and just completely defend it. But no. So again, it's our personal favorites. But again, stay tuned, guys. 6:30, we'll be going live again for our top 5 favorite box office flops. It's gonna be one you will not want to miss. So stay
Sunday
tuned
fun
for that.
day.
We'll
It'll be a
see you
fun
guys
one.
later. Till then, peace.
Until then.
Peace.
Bye, guys.